You're old, groaning like a geezer.
Hey, welcome everybody. It is time for another episode of GRAYBEARD'S Studio. It's the studio full of guys with gray beards, but we're still young at heart. And I think that's really the most important thing today, because you voted on it. We're going to do 1980s cartoons. That is our subject matter. Anything that came out or was in the 1980s is fair game. So there's a broad range of stuff going on there that for us to choose from. We are here to entertain you with our drawing abilities. So let's get this show on the road. We have had a Bigfoot sighting. He is in the house. We also know him as Kelsey Shannon. Welcome him. There he is, my co-host. Kelsey, how you doing?
We're old.
We are. Well, we're older. Older than we were yesterday. Now, yes. You are working on that creeper thing from last week, but it looks like you got a white pen, right? And you were kind of messing around with it to see.
I did, and I'm desperately trying to mess it up. You know me.
Yeah, you just can't leave well enough alone.
Added some little glints in the eyes. Now they're coming around. I was going to do the ha-ha-has, but I don't know. I might try to get another color of these. I actually like this. I got this like Paca from Uni, and it's really good. I like it. Look, I did these little stars on this the.
Oh, very nice. Look at that.
Look at they cover really nicely.
Yeah. Oh, David looks like he fixed his internet, so I'm going to bring him on in. Here's our other co-host, David Williams. Everybody, can you hear us, Dave?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, loud and clear. Oh, look at that. What? Who? I don't know if you can self-proclaim. I don't know if that counts.
I'm just trying to focus my camera. I don't know what you're talking about.
You spelled wiener wrong.
Oh. Well, so okay. So go back. I was getting distracted by David in the green room. What's that pen again you got?
Oh,
white
the
pen?
Uni Posca. It's funny, I got this and I still haven't got the pin that Dave wanted. I need to. Dave was showing off the one that you got.
Yeah, the Presto.
I need to get that too.
No,
now that I got this, like I'll go through like pin phases.
Oh, the zigs. Ooh. Yeah.
What is this? Is that a white pin?
No. That's black.
Zig pins.
They're like calligraphy pens.
Calligraphy pins.
Oh yeah, the zig ones. Yeah.
The ink on that, I'll tell you that the ink on those zig pens, once you get used to that flat. Oh,
I need one of those.
That black on those ink pens is really good.
Really? Okay. Are they?
And it's waterproof. It's better than the microns and stuff. And I can. I used some gray marker over the top of one of those, and it didn't even bleed at all. Even the Copic black bleeds a little bit on their own gray, which makes no sense. But those didn't. So I was very impressed. You just got to get used to the tip. The tip's a little weird because you got that flat tip on there.
But just the tip. That's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, David, you owe us. Oh, you want me? You know what? You don't have to hold it up. You sent it to me. What did I do with it?
What?
He sent me his
finished.
His Doctor Strange. He finished from last week. There it is. I'm going to bring it up and show the peeps what he did. Oh, geez, that's nice. See, it's just like cheating. It's like, oh, I'm going to take my test home and finish it at home. You know, it's just like.
Is Kelsey not still working on his?
Only on camera, pal. Only on camera.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, so you're going to start your OnlyFans now?
All right, here it is. Be prepared to get blown away. This is David's completed Doctor Strange from last week. Oh, look at that.
Oh man, how did you end up using a marker for the ghost image? What is that?
I have these color Copic multiliners.
Oh yeah.
They have all the different colors, so I use the teal green for the projection image of Doctor Strange.
Oh man, that's cool. Every time you do one of these, I want to buy it from you, but I can't buy all your stuff. I don't have that much money.
Is this is this watercolor? What is this?
Yeah, it's watercolor.
God, like the texture on the cape going from like the background. Did you do like an underpainting first and then do the red?
No, I did the red first.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of a cheat because I used marker just for the base and then I painted red over it just to get, some texture. And same with the background. I just kept on layering it up more and more and more. And I was trying to get like it's, mystical whirlwind that's going on with them. And then I just use splatter on the over here because
dude, that looks really, really good. It pains me to say it, but that looks really, really good.
Man, if you had like a little bit of white splatter in there, like if you masked off his body and then went in with some white, you should do that. Do that right now. Like do some masking. Maybe some airbrush. Do you have an airbrush?
Drawing. Yeah, get your airbrush out and start. Let me take a minute here and say hi to some of the people in the chat. We've got Jasu, we got Creative Faye Illustration. Hello, all you old geezers, still kicking. I see. I look forward to see what you all draw, even though we all know Aaron wins. Yes. Leg kick is here. Leg kick is almost.
You lines wrong.
Yeah.
Dan, the Pizza Man Genovese is here. Kevin Thomas, Venya Reviews. Gotta love those 80s cartoons. I still remember Marshall Brave Star and that cool horse with the shot.
30-30. That's right.
Yeah, I think Kelsey's dipping into that today. Past Master Dan is here. Geek Avenger, Suicidal Tendencies, Hoy Comics Gate. Look at this. He says, I made it on time 2 weeks in a row.
All right.
Jason,
Momoa?
No, Jason Kapanen. Anyone remember Galaxy Rangers with the voice talent of Gary Orbach or Jerry Orbach from Law and Order?
I was a bit partial to what is it? Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs, but that was like the cheap version of that one.
Marcus Killigrew is here. Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Looking forward to this one. Hope the Dinosaurs finally get their due.
Oh man, I would love to do Dinosaurs. Maybe I should
Mark
do that.
Pengren, Far Dog is here. Let's see. I told everybody you were having technical problems, and everybody's like, typical, laugh out loud. Yeah. So what else is new? Blah blah blah. Bill Weist says, by the power of Grayskull, I summoned the Graybeards because we were running a little bit late. And I guess it apparently worked. Mayo Comovies is here. Tarks9 all the way from Canada. Dave the Space Wizard is joining us.
Wow.
He says, I wish my beard would turn white already. He wants to catch up with us. Let's see here. Everybody's saying that Doctor Strange is freaking awesome. Beautiful. Sweet. Jay Dredd is here. H&R is here. Elongated Musket is returned. He says, iced here in Oklahoma, entertain us. That's what we're here for.
Oh, yeah.
When you're snowed in or iced in, that we are here to entertain. Let's see here. Fardog says, if they are half finished at the end of the cast, then that is what we judge them on. Run a poll at the end. No. This is a competition.
Yep.
It's a friendly studio. Not a competition unless I win. Okay, Death Metal Hero has joined us as well. All right, guys, here we go. I painfully am going to take down David's Doctor Strange because I love looking at it. That's a great piece. My dog's howling at the moon, even though the moon isn't even out yet. That must be FedEx or UPS substituting in for the moon. All righty. So David went to get lunch, apparently. We'll talk to him last. Kelsey, what have you decided from the 1980s to do for us today?
Thank you first to the chat for voting on something that I actually know. I know 80s cartoons very well. The problem is making a decision from all the great stuff. But then I was telling Aaron, I was like, oh, my favorite ones have like tons of characters, Bionic 6, Mighty Orbots. And I'm like, I don't want to draw all these characters. And Aaron's like, no, I think you should draw them. More the merrier.
Sucker.
So I think I finally settled on one of my absolute favorite single characters growing up was 3030 from Marshall Bravestar. Love that horse with the metal, the robot arms and legs, and the giant gun. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Are you saying that it was a Western version of Detective Gadget or whatever that guy's name was? What was his name?
No, he didn't have any Inspector Gadget. No, he
Inspector
didn't have
Gadget.
any. No, he just had this one giant. Like he would transform from like a horse to so Bravestar can like ride around on him, but which is a little weird when you think about it. But but he would transform into like a human mode. You know, had all this electricity everywhere. It was great, man.
Okay. All right, David, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what are you going to do?
Huh?
You blipped out a little bit there. Repeat.
Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so David's doing Thundar. Okay, so
Thundar.
Now I didn't watch a lot of 80s cartoons because I was
old.
I was 82 I graduated high school, so I mean I watched a little bit here and there, but I was
holding down a steady job by then.
Yeah, chasing girls, trying to go to college, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go earlier 80s. Is this too predictable for me to go Thundercats? Is that too predictable?
No.
Yep.
No, it is.
Well, look, it's either going to be Thundercats or He-Man. Either one of them is probably fairly predictable. But since you're doing Thundar, He-Man is kind of close to Thundar. Yeah. And although the allure of Skeletor is great within me, I am going to do a combo piece of Lion-O and Mum-Ra.
Cool.
So I'm going for it. We'll go 2, and we'll see. Maybe I can get some color laid in there too as well. So
I got some new paints here, and I've never had little containers that I had to open up. I'm just making a mess.
Well, I'm going to start the stream right, or the drawing right now, so you can spend the next 30 minutes unpacking your paint.
Well, I'm just wondering how you're supposed to do this. Like, am I supposed to? I wonder if I'm supposed to open up all these.
Well,
and this is gouache, but they smell like egg tempera or something strange.
Well, it looks like there's some sort of padded thing on the cover there that would like cover it up and keep it airtight, right? When you close it.
Does this work?
I think that is that.
Well,
that's the palette.
This will. There's no like seal or anything.
Oh, I thought that palette was like foam rubber or something.
It'll dry out before you know it.
Yeah. Where did you get this paint set at?
I don't know. Dollar store? No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't. No, I actually ordered this because I wanted like a nice set of gouache and like a travel set that I can, tote with me. But the way these paints are, I'd be afraid that if it was sideways, it would just leak. They would all pour out of here.
I would think because that lid doesn't close on there that tight, does it?
No.
Yeah, you know what you could do? You could take like saran wrap or something and lay it over the top of that and then snap the lid on.
This is why I just need my good old-fashioned cake watercolors.
Yeah, see,
fails me.
You got too cute, and this is what happens. All right, guys. Are you guys ready to start drawing?
Yeah, let's see where it goes.
The question is, are you ready?
I'm starting on a real positive note.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me bring up one point of conversation here as we get going. Okay, so it's 1:23, so we'll say it officially. The timing is 1:30, so we've got till 3:30 to get this thing done. So you got 2 hours. So I'll give you an extra 7 minutes here to unwrap your paints. But David brought up an interesting point about Kirby's work on Thundar, right, David? Thundar.
Yeah.
You tell that story again.
The original idea was they were pitching a Thor cartoon, a potential Thor cartoon, and then they scrubbed that and came up with like Thundar on the fly, because they were inspired by Star Wars, and that's why Thundar has the Sword of Omens that looks like a lightsaber. And Kirby did some storyboards for Thundar, and I think he came up with some initial designs for Thundar, whatnot. So, and it got morphed into what the final is. I think Toth worked on it a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
So
he was working on all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you could go look this stuff up. It's just fun how all of these comic book people, you know, they work just like how I won't say a lot, a fair amount of animators in the 90s kind of vacillated between comics and animation. But
oh my God, what did they do?
Kirby did that quite a bit, and so did Toth and some others like them.
Hey, whatever they do on their private times, their business.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever the hell.
No, whatever the bills dictate.
All right.
I'm going for I'm going to go for a kind of a James Bama Doc Savage vibe here on this piece, I think, in terms of the layout.
I was going to say, by the way, I did this on 11x17 too.
Wow.
So he's trying to rub that in my face because I did mine 11x14, and Kelsey, you went even smaller. So, but
that's how we got ours done on time. I guess
that's right. When you get an extra week, man, you can go.
All right, I'm almost done. I'm almost ready to begin. Beginning.
So you guys obviously are younger than I am. So you guys were both.
Obviously.
So you guys both.
Don't let the beard fool you.
You guys were both 80s cartoon guys. Then you would have been, right?
I was 70s.
Yeah, I think David's a bit older than me. Like when I came in, it was like the tail end of whatever the stuff is, the reruns from the 60s and 70s, and like right before the 80s boom, we had Smurfs and what else? I don't know. You just had these like kind of in between. Richie Rich was another one I watched as a kid, and then eventually the 80s really took off, the cartoon boom, and man, it went nuts. Like that's when you got Thundercats and G.I. Joe and Transformers and all that. I think started it, right? Or no, He-Man. What started that whole thing?
I want to say Thundar was 1980 through 82, and then He-Man followed that, and he was like 83 through 85, and I think the Thundercats were like mid 80s, weren't they? Like 84, 85.
Well, Thundar didn't have the toy tie-in. Like I think He-Man might have been what unshackled.
It didn't last long enough to get a thing. Trying for it though.
Yeah, I think that's what really set it off. Is once they figured out that they could sell toys with cartoons, then it was on.
Yeah.
But then they shut that down real quick. That only lasted. I mean, the whole thing with the 80s cartoons is that only lasted like a couple years, didn't it? I mean, it left a huge impression, but when you go back and look at those cartoons, the longest running one was like maybe 4 years, maybe.
Most of them, Thundar and He-Man were 2 years. I can't remember how long. I would guess that Thundercats were probably in that same neighborhood.
Thundercats was like 3, maybe.
And then Starhawks followed Thundercats, right?
Or Silverhawks?
Silverhawks, excuse me. Yeah, Silverhawks.
Yeah, I almost did them. Then I thought about that metal. I was like, no, thank you.
I was about to do that. Weren't we talking about that, Aaron?
Yep. I talked him out of it. I said, do people like Thundar better than Silverhawks?
Silvercats, yeah.
Silvercats. Now we got something. Now we're talking.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, I caught I remember when the Thundercats comic book came out, and that was like really hot for a few months. I guess it had low distribution. Was it Marvel did that like Star line of comics that were all based on the animated ones? Wasn't that what that was called? Pretty sure. It was like
so.
That was like they're sort of like
Transformers and stuff.
Yeah, it was all like Silverhawks, Care Bears, Thundercats. Those are all under the Star label. And
did you never work on any of that stuff?
No, that was before I broke in. I was I didn't get into comics until the 90s. I mean, I started late. I mean, I was like 27 or something when I did my first job, because I was like, I was at film school and I was doing other things and wasn't sure I was going to get into art. And then when I decided I was like, oh, I haven't been drawing for 8 years. So then I was like, I totally, pardon the expression, retarded my skills, and I had to like sort of kind of catch up and everything. And well, anyway, here I am 100 years later. Well, David was 16 and getting his first pro work. I was like chasing skirts in LA, I guess.
Late bloomer.
Yeah, very late. In fact, people say I'm still blooming. I still haven't got there.
You'll get there someday.
Yeah, I know. Well, I keep working hard and hanging around the right people. And
well, let me know when you meet them. I'll hang out with them too.
Yeah, exactly. Let me know when you meet them, right? But yeah, so I saw that stuff in the comics before I ever saw it on TV, and then I kind of went back and went, "Oh, this is the thing." I really wasn't watching, wasn't watching the cartoons then. And what I did was like Johnny Quest reruns,
Hey, Kelsey, those Nexus pages that you shared were amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Whoa, where were these?
You don't worry about that.
Yeah, one of our back rooms. You mean you're not part of the room?
Oh, yeah.
No, sorry.
Special invitation only.
Yeah, I can go find a group maybe you're in and see if
it's the Davos of comics creators.
I see. Okay.
For the
I see how I fit. Old man says Star comics were great. We need more comics aimed at kids. They're reading manga now, or manga. Yeah. But see, there you go. So it was Star Comics. Yeah, that was the Marvel label for those animated adaptations.
I would prefer to do, like, if I could do any comic, it would be like, Space Ghost, or one of the I love all those old cartoon books. Yeah.
They were more those were those 60s cartoons were
love that stuff.
They were tapping in on that sort of the superhero fad that was going on at that time, because Marvel was exploding, the Batman television show was exploding, and so you had all these like superhero like characters that they created just for those cartoon shows, and then it sort of became more fantasy oriented or whatever, and then it kind of a different vibe as they went on. Different things got popular, but yeah, those old superhero stuff, especially designed by Toth. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, I still watch those today. Those old.
Oh yeah.
I still watch the Flintstones. But I rarely will sit down and watch, Pole Position from the 80s. Never actually. Or,
now that I think about it, I've never watched it.
Or Turbo Teen. That was one of my almost picks. I was like, oh, Turbo Teen, but I'm like, I don't want to draw a car.
Oh, dude, it's like, yeah, make it easy on yourself. Just draw a team book with like 15 characters. That's all you have. Your little 9x12 sheet there.
Yeah, I thought Pole Position. Again with the cars. When there was so many fun Mask Crusaders or whatever with the cars. I wanted to all of that stuff, Transformers, everything in the 80s was like hard to draw.
Yeah Yeah, you wondered why they pick some like Transformers and stuff. Or you go, are you freaking kidding me? You want to talk about a work? Gee, many Christmas.
Yeah, what were they thinking? You know what? Let's see. What's the hardest? Let's see. Hanna-Barbera did the easiest. What's the hardest? I don't know. Transformers.
Yeah, let's make these robots that turn into cars, and they're like got 100 pieces each one of them, and you're just like,
like. Well, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Elongated Musket said, did anybody watch Star Blazers and Battle of the Planets during this time frame?
Yeah.
Those were awesome to me. I tell my young friends it was anime first.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, again, a lot of the, cartoons that I was really into were, Transor Z, which I know is Mazinger, but Transor Z and Speed Racer and all the stuff from the 60s that was, being repackaged to all of us. And I love all that stuff. The what is it? What is that? You okay?
I'm fine.
Oh, it sounds like somebody's trying to break into your roof or
on the floor.
Yeah.
Captain How about this? Schism says Captain Harlock. Anyone? Who's Captain Harlock?
I didn't really watch that. Wasn't really playing in my neighborhood.
Wasn't playing.
Well, no. Like if you look at the blocks,
we had a dividing line. We didn't play that in our neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, no. Sometimes it's like that. Like where people are like, "Oh, I watched Star Blazers." Well, I'm like, well, in my neighborhood, it was. We didn't even have Star Blazers. We had Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs. That was ours. And then they're like, well, I never had that. I guess it just depends on how the TV people blocked it out.
Oh, really? So you're saying that actually did not come into your...
For sure.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of stuff
I had cousins that would, because I would be telling them about cartoons that existed, and they would think that I was lying about them because they were in Chicago and I'm in Los Angeles, and they said, "No, there's no such thing as you know what I mean." So,
well, see, I got in Texas. We got Chicago. We got WGBN shows. I don't know how we got it, but like I would often see that's a lot of my early Transformers cartoons that I watched were on the Bozo show, which was from
like Bozo the Clown.
Which was a Chicago show. Yeah.
Yep.
For whatever reason, I ended up watching a lot of Chicago programming. I don't know how.
We would get Chicago shows out in LA because I used to watch Bozo all the time.
Yeah. Probably just bigger districts. Dallas was a really big market for TV. So, I don't know where Aaron was living, out in Iowa or something. Where were you?
Portland, Oregon, man. I was born and raised. I got out of here a few times. I keep getting sucked back in. I keep wanting to get out again. We had this thing, this local like Saturday morning cartoon show, and had a clown on it. He was called Rusty Nails. He was the clown.
Oh, jeez.
And
it's like a scary clown.
Yeah, and his good friend Tetanus. No, but so we watched that, and in the morning before school, because it'd be on at like 7 a.m. or something, and so we're getting ready for school. We'll be watching these cartoons, but they were showing stuff like, I even hate to say this, but like black and white Popeye cartoons,
Oh yeah,
the kind of stuff we were watching.
Some of those are like magic tricks. Like how, I don't even know how they do them.
Well, they created rotoscoping,
building models and stuff for backgrounds. Crazy.
Yeah.
Did they really for
that?
Popeye?
They created rotoscoping for Popeye. They built this practical background on a round table, and they would turn it, and they had Popeye walking on it, like they animated on top of it, and it was the Sinbad episode of Popeye. And
I remember that episode.
The Fleischer Studios created rotoscoping.
Wow, I didn't know that. It's an educational stream as well.
They did it as a way to like get stuff done fast.
Sure. Well, then I guess you saw that like in the Flintstones and stuff, right? Where Fred would be running, but in the background would just keep the same door would keep coming back.
Well, they felt like they were in competition in some odd way with Disney, and they were trying to do new things to develop that were going to be in their feature films, like when they did Gulliver's Travel and stuff. So they were trying to elevate their game while they had, that lower budget. They said, okay, let's experiment. So they had the room to experiment and for the potential for some feature film things to get ahead of the curve on Disney. Fortunately, it didn't work.
Never quite got ahead of Disney.
Imagine where we would be if Fleischer Studios would have been super successful. Where Disney would be.
Did Fleischer do the Superman one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
Those are classic. Yeah.
Those are so great.
So I heard a rumor they stopped doing that show because an actual kid committed suicide because he didn't commit suicide. Accidental death. He was on top of his roof because he was just seeing the Superman cartoon and tied a cape around his towel or whatever around his neck and jumped off the roof, and it took his life.
That's bad parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Fleischers felt so bad, so they just stopped immediately. Which that's the reason why it stopped. It didn't stop because it was super successful.
Sure. And they had to run those as serials at movies, right? I mean, because there was no TV back then. That's the only place you would have seen those.
Yeah.
It was like cartoons in between the movies or whatever, the double feature.
Yeah.
That always trips me out about the Looney Tunes stuff because, like, growing up, that was one of my Saturday morning cartoons.
I loved them.
Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, and then you find out years later that stuff ran in movie theaters as shorts, and it's like, what?
Well, I mean, it explains because if you get beyond being a kid and start watching them as an adult, it's like the stuff they reference and things like that are not, they're not making kid references. Those are adult references. And, but yeah, as a little kid, you're watching that stuff thinking, well, they made this for Saturday morning, right? But no.
That's why it was so good. It wasn't made for kids.
The Bugs Bunny episode with the gremlin on the army airplane, right? Well, but there's a part where Bugs Bunny goes, did you see that? That was a gremlin. And then the gremlin grabs his ear and goes, well, I ain't Wendell Willkie, who of course ran against who was it? Not Eisenhower, Roosevelt for president back in, what one of his, 20 terms that Roosevelt served as president. And it's like, what kid, it's like, I had no idea until one of my friends, we watched it. We asked his mom, and go, who's Wendell Willkie? She goes, oh my gosh, Wendell Willkie, and she would tell us that, oh yeah, he ran for president back in 1940 or whatever it was. And so
it's
it's
us
like
trying to explain the crap going on today to our kids, in the future. Well, y'all's kids are grown. I mean, my kids.
Yeah. Well, you let your kids run around out in the jungle, don't you? Out there in the forest, let them raise themselves. Isn't that the?
Yeah, we throw them out into the swamp, and whichever ones survive, they get to live.
Yeah, it's the way of the bayou, man. It's the Bigfoot way.
Yeah, we're like the Spartans from 300. But we got better food.
Dad's Den of Pop Culture says one of the fun things about listening to old time radio is that you get to hear where all the Looney Tunes references came from, mostly Fibber McGee and Molly, Fred Allen, and Jack Benny. There are, I don't know about you guys, I'm sure it's, local programming is different, but Sunday nights around here, they play old time radio it comes out of LA. It's a station out of LA or a show out of LA where they just, for like a couple hours, they play like old radio shows. And if there's nothing on TV to watch or to, kind of background noise, I flip that stuff on while I'm drawing. and it's great because there's like old detective shows, and there's like some of the westerns in the 50s. They had like Jimmy Stewart doing one, and you're like, how in the world did they get Jimmy Stewart to do a radio drama during the heyday? I mean, that's when he was doing Hitchcock films and everything. He was huge in the 50s. But I don't know, maybe it's part of their contract or whatever, or they just, hey, make some side money doing this.
It's because they took their like side shows and their advertising and their vaudeville. You know, there was so much of that was done live where, like, I remember, you know, I used to love Wizard of Oz, and then you in the making of they talked about how what's her face and Andy Rooney or Mickey Rooney, Andy Rooney, Mickey Rooney and Mickey Rooney and
Andy Rooney.
Yeah. What's her face? I forget her name all of a sudden. Where they went all over the country doing like a song and dance routine where they were part of a huge show and they would come out and do
real
their parts. Huh?
Real entertainers.
Right. Yeah. And that was the circuit that you went on to advertise whatever you and whatever you were doing. And yeah, I mean, that was they actually put in the work, and they were always dressed to the nines, you know, suits and everything.
They had a code of conduct back then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least they kept their their hedonistic ways away from the public, so we didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure they were still up to no good, but
yeah, Errol Flynn, I'm sure, could tell you a few stories.
Oh, I have a book that's written by a mother of one of the girls that was seduced by him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found it in like an old, I got a collection of a lot of old books, and that's one of them. Freaking Earl Flynn, man.
Errol.
You know, there's a book that came out in the 70s
Salacious.
that I've always wanted to read, and I don't own, and I should, and I've always wanted to read and never have. It's called Hollywood Babylon. And it's got all the, it has this on the cover of the book is like the fat Elizabeth Taylor sitting in like a theater seat, like shoving popcorn in her face. And it's like, but it's like full of all the, just like the heinous stories, of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And,
nothing's changed.
Yeah. Except we know about them now. That's the thing. Right.
Right.
But I always wanted to get that book and read some of those old stories. But then on one hand, I was kind of afraid to, because I was like, they're going to ruin my image of all these guys that I, love the kid or whatever, and find out that they're, these just horrible human beings. Like, I don't want to know.
Just don't look. Just don't look.
Don't look too closely. Don't pull the curtain back.
Yeah. I guess there's a statute of limitation, I guess, where they're no longer with us. I don't know that hearing some of those old stories bothers me about, watching Earl Flynn, like, I don't know. But like, there's plenty of Kevin Spacey movies I can't watch anymore.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's like,
so I don't know. I don't know if there's a difference or not.
Well, I think we, history has pretty much told us, that certain guys back from the golden age of Hollywood, and maybe many guys, were not, the wonderful people that, most people thought they were back in the day.
Yeah.
And we sort of got used to it. But when you got people that are still working and they're doing heinous things, it's kind of like, I don't really want to go there. Like Kevin Spacey or whoever, might be. But yeah, it is kind of funny. You find out this stuff about Spacey, and you're like, I can't watch this movie anymore.
Well, I mean, yeah, some of my favorite movies, like Usual Suspects.
Oh,
there's multiple reasons I can't stop thinking when I'm watching them.
Well, yeah, there's a variety of reasons. On
a variety of reasons, yeah.
Oh,
but man, that was one of those movies where I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
Just went in blind.
Yeah, me too.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I still watch them. I mean, I just look at it and go, "You dirty mother." I mean, I look at the airplane movies and I see OJ and I said,
Yeah.
You know you did that.
Yeah, but that's fun because his character is getting the crap kicked out of him the entire time he's on screen. So it's like, oh yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that was you're thinking about on Police Squad where he was
Police
on that,
Squad.
he got
Okay,
the crap beat out. Yeah, and he was like, there's a measure of revenge there, I guess.
In a way, yeah.
Done before he did the deed. They got him before he. All right, I got this sucker blue line. I'm going to start putting some pencil down.
Already there. You better just go ahead and go straight to color, my friend.
Oh, I might have time. Henry Jeremick says, "Hi guys, just got here. What is everybody drawing? We're doing 1980s cartoons. Henry, I am doing Mum-Ra and Lion-O from Thundercats. Kelsey, you're doing what's that guy's called again?
30-30.
30-30 from what cartoon was it?
Brave Star. Marshall Brave Star.
And David is working on Thundar, the Barbarian. Christina Lynn says her first anime was Sonic X and Kirby. Wow. What are you, like 15?
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, gosh, man. Sonic. That was
Dad's Den of Pop. I'm sorry. Dad's Den of Pop Culture says the Transformers were spawned from Microman, the Micronauts, which were spawned by Henshin Cyborg, which the Japanese created from the original 60s G.I. Joe action figure. How's that for some crazy lineage?
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, they came about a lot of this in strange ways. It was really like a what can sell, like, oh, they didn't like this one. Well, what about if it had cars in it? Oh yeah, we like that better. Do that. Okay, and then it turns into something else entirely.
This is going back a little bit in our conversation, but Kevin Wolf says without Gulliver's Travels, we wouldn't have had Superman of that quality. So you had mentioned that, David, right? The Gulliver's Travels thing.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen those.
You didn't see Gulliver's Travel? Oh man,
I might have.
You're talking about the movie, right? From like the 30s?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
No, I've seen.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I've not seen. I think I've seen bits and pieces. You eventually you'll see stuff come through.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Jack Black version.
No, I have seen that. That's definitely in my speed.
Man, I think I'm gonna kick you guys' butt this time. I'm sorry.
What, next week?
Yeah. When you're done with it next week, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, just like I did with the Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. Still only 35 cents. Yeah, you wish. Says, please someone draw Ukla the Mock.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good.
You got Ukla in there? All right.
Yeah.
That's that big lion dude, right? That he hung out with?
Yeah.
The lion maned guy?
Rawr! He just went. That was his dialogue. Rawr!
No, it's this. Death Metal Hero says everyone should go check out the YouTube channel Secret Galaxy. They do deep dives on the history of all these old classic brands.
Yeah, that's a spinoff of Toy Galaxy, right? Isn't that the
Got me, man.
Same guys. Toy Galaxy is great. I've watched. They do a lot of 80s. I'm pretty sure that's the same people.
Holy Hand Grenade says 7 is still watchable because he's horrible in that. Of course, talking about Kevin Spacey. That movie,
yeah,
dude. I watched some of that movie and I had to turn it off. It was just too disgusting.
I went and saw it with my dad when it came out, and I loved it because I was all into the filmmaking of it, and I was like, great. And then we get out of there, and he's like, I think I feel sick. Like, it did not work on him. He was just like, no, I feel sick.
Yeah, dude. It's funny how when I was like really into film and getting ready to go to film school, or I was in film school, I don't remember. It's like I wanted to see all like the edgy sort of, weird off-center films. Now I'm like, okay, this disgusts me. What was I thinking? because the cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover has got to be one of the most disgusting films I've ever seen in my life.
Well,
I mean, I was barfed. It was horrible.
I'm definitely out of that phase myself because I watched Alex Garland, the guy that made Ex Machina, and he did the Dread movie. The one where he wrote that and basically I think ended up directing it after they got rid of the other director. But he did a movie recently called Men. And
I don't like the title of it already.
Yeah, I was a little like apprehensive, but I'm like Alex Garland, makes a good flick. He did The Beach, which I kind of dig. Was
that wait a minute? The Beach, was that like the end of the world type thing?
No. That's the one with DiCaprio, and he goes to this like beach in Thailand, and it seems like paradise at first, but then it ends up being just kind of like more of a nightmare. But anyway, so this movie is a lot like that. The cook, the thief, his wife, or whatever, where except it makes even less sense. I'm sure it makes sense. It's one of those movies where you kind of like formulate your own kind of interpretation of things, and at the end you're just kind of left. Like at first, it started off as like a real, like kind of spooky movie. Where you're like, what is happening? Oh, it's real moody and everything, and then by the end of it, you're just like, what did I just see? I don't understand what I just watched.
Why do I feel like I'm in a park?
I feel sick. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I suddenly understand what my dad was feeling back when I watched Seven. Yeah. I get it now.
Oh my gosh. Well, I remember the first movie I went and saw that almost Ralphed in was how's that for old terminology? There's some 80s terminology. I almost Ralphed.
Yeah.
I went and saw, I was in junior high, and we used to have this art class. It was the last class of the day, generally speaking. I was in junior high, so I'm in the art class. We had a really cool art teacher, Mr. Kimball, shout out in case he's watching. He's still alive.
Hi, Mr. Kimball.
And he would let us listen to the radio and stuff. And we had this rock station called KGON, which is now a classic rock station here. But back then it was just the rock station, right? And they would always have these ads. If you're listening on as soon as it got close to the weekend, they would always have some midnight movie showing thing at this one theater that was in part of a mall, Tennisbourne Mall here in the area. And it was like it would always start off like this: banned in 36 countries, the most horrifying film you'll ever see. And it was like, Night of the Living Dead. And so we're like, oh, we gotta go see that, right? So we would go our midnight show, bring a can of meat and get in for free, that kind of thing. And so we'd go and see these movies. And I remember The Honeymoon Killers is one which really I think sucks. It gets pretty good reviews, but I thought it was horrible. And then Texas Chainsaw, things like that.
Oh yeah, love that.
Then it was like Dawn of the Dead at last, the sequel to So we go and see Dawn of the Dead, and I was in, like I said, I was in junior high.
My camera's frozen.
And dude, the very first scene. Can you hear us, Kelsey? Or you're just pictures?
Yeah, my camera. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I thought you just were moving your hand or something. Okay. So we go in there, and dude, it was like the very first scene of that movie. If you remember, I'm talking about the original one, not the remake. You're like in these projects in the ghetto or something like that, right? And this dude breaks into his house, like this, and his wife is in there, I guess, and she's like, "Oh, honey," because there's chaos going all around him and stuff. And he walks over to her to hug her, and then he's a zombie, and he takes a bite right out of her trapezius and just rips it off in his mouth, and the blood is there. I was like, I mean, this is like the first 5 minutes of the movie. And of course, by the end, I was so desensitized that they're disemboweling bikers in the mall. And
yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
Good times. I remember them well.
I always liked that one because they were in a mall. I don't know why. I just thought that was great.
Well,
having,
it was
having
like
to survive in a mall.
that movie gave you like a good movie should. You know, if it's like high intensity the whole time, it's like it physically wears you out, right? You can't stay with it. But they had a couple of moments where everybody was kind of having fun and shopping, you know, and it gave you that sort of interlude. All this horrible stuff. They lock themselves in the mall. Well, we can hang out here for a while. Then they go shopping. Everybody's having a good time, and then the zombies break in and eat everybody. But it gave you that 5 or 10 minutes of respite where you're kind of like, yeah, things are okay, and then they weren't.
Yeah, the calm before the storm.
Yes, exactly. Kind of set you up. Good old George Romero.
Yeah, I like that. I like Romero flicks. Like I'm when you get into liking filmmaking, and I don't know, you don't think about him because he's not that flashy,
right?
But man, he was an innovator. I mean,
he did
just the fly on the wall style that he was doing really made it feel real.
He was an interesting dude because he never, even after he had success with those horror films, he never went big budget, did he? I mean, everything he did was always sort of a B movie. What was that film he made with Ed Harris where they were like modern day knights, but they were on motorcycles?
I love that one. Yeah, what is that?
Someone in the chat will know.
I thought you were saying Creepshow at first because Ed Harris is in one of those Creepshows. But yeah, that what is that one? It's like, let's see if chat knows. Night Riders. Yeah, Night Riders.
Yeah, Night Riders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Now somebody's pulling up some stuff that I actually remember. Kevin Thomas said he saw Full Cheese Zombie at 3 a.m. while restless from being sick. Great flick. That's the one where the zombie hand punches through the door and there's all these wood splinters sticking out. He grabs a girl by the hair, pulls her through the door, and the splinter goes right into her eye. Oh
Fulci, yeah, he's brutal,
that was
man.
horrible. But I went and saw that at the drive-in when I was 16.
Ouch.
Now this is interesting. Now you guys, I don't know. H&R, apparently he knows Dunderklumpen or Dunderklumpen or however it's pronounced. I think it's a Swedish film. It's an animated film, and I've never seen it, but I remember back in the day when video stores came out, right? And you could go and rent videos. And there it was in like the animated section called Dunderklumpen or Dunderklumpen, however it's pronounced. But in parentheses, it said Thundering Fatty. I never forgot that. And so I still, even if that's not the correct translation or whatever, I mean, I use that everywhere I go, call someone a Dunderklumpen or a Thundering Fatty. And because I assume that's what it means. I never saw the movie though, so I don't know what it's about.
That's hilarious.
I just remember seeing that, just cracked me up. Dunderklumpen, Thundering Fatty.
I'm assuming it's about a thunderous fatty.
Well, I think it was about it was like about. I thought at first it was about cats, but then I saw something later as I was searching it on the internet, and it had like this elfish-looking guy on it, like an old like wizard troll kind of guy, and I'm like, what the heck is this about? Maybe I should watch this. I bet HR knows. He says.
I might have seen it.
Yeah, it's right. So there he goes, Thundering Fatty. He's verifying my Thundering Fatty.
I used to work at Blockbuster, and I just rent weird stuff just because, after you've seen everything, you're like, well, what is this one? What is Thunderklumpen? So I might have I might have seen it and not remember.
That's good. What's all Thunderklumpen? Then you're conflating both of them together and making a new word. Thunderklumpen. It's either Dunderklumpen or Thundering Fatties. Come on.
Okay.
You get it right. He's like making stuff up. Thunderklumpen.
That's a new superhero.
Yeah, new 80s cartoon.
Yeah,
we're like way off topic.
In the world of Hanna-Barbarians.
Somebody put in a chat, or not a somebody put in a chat earlier, and I can't remember what it was. It's so long ago, I don't know if I could find it. But they had made some. That was it. Bakshi that created. Was that what he was saying? No. The guys that did the Rankin Bass created a lot of these 80s cartoons. Is that true? I think that's what he was saying. Like Thundercats. Is Thundercats a Rankin Bass thing?
Yeah, I
don't think so.
No, well, I used to think it was. Man, I remember looking all this up because I thought that the guy that was the character designer of Thundercats, there was a lot in common with whoever the designer was on, like, The Hobbit and stuff like that. I really love that. Whatever the animation version that they were trying to create off of Arthur Rankin's old storybook illustrations, and they created this great style. Well, there's some of that carried over to Thundercats, but it's not the same.
Well, no, wait a minute. Moromi says Thundercats is Rankin Bass.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
But what I was getting at is that there was like carryover in the design language, like if from Thundercats, that lizard guy, what's that guy's name? Slythe. Yeah, he looks just like the trolls from Hobbit.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Now that you say it.
Yeah. Well, actually, Mumrod kind of has that vibe too.
Yeah.
Bearwolf 13 says Thundercats, Silverhawks, and Tiger Sharks are all Rankin Bass.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Cool.
I like
the
attitude.
Mark
They're
Pendrin says
all Rankin
the studio that made
Choose
Thundercats is the studio that later became Studio Ghibli in Japan.
Ghibli.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. And then we've got someone throwing in Rudolph's Shiny New Year just for fun.
Great lineage, all this stuff. It's all connected. Then you find out, like, J. Michael Straczynski wrote a bunch of episodes of a cartoon that you like, or whatever. There's like hidden people in there that became people of note, and they're like writing episodes of the real Ghostbusters, and some of them are still directing cartoons to this day. Like you'll see like Dan Reba, he was directing back then in the 80s, wasn't he? Or he was involved somehow. I don't know. I keep seeing like names that you're like, oh, I know that name.
Well, that was the funny thing about like Dan DiDio over at DC, man. I was watching some Barbie videos with my daughter when she was young, and then his name is up there as producer. And I'm like,
you was watching them by ears. What you talking about?
No, I got to tell you, man, some of those are pretty painful. But
you and Dan Didio, old school Barbie fans,
yeah,
can't hide it.
Yeah, so I was like, Dan, is that you? Oh yeah.
I never thought I'd see a familiar face.
I'm not alone.
Yeah,
I'm not the only one who watches Barbie. Oh gosh.
All right.
Hey, did you get that Thundercat stuff I sent you?
Yeah, I did. Trying to distract me. Is that what you're trying to do?
No,
not at all.
You guys lost yet?
Well, dude, you're inking already, man. You're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, this is my wheelhouse.
Where is it here? Okay. David's distracted me to pull this stuff up. So.
No, I was just trying to inspire you because you're drawing Thundercats, and I was just letting you and the wonderful people in the chat that I worked on Thundercats over at Warner Consumer.
Oh, yeah, tell that. Is this your?
What?
Wait a minute, dude. Is this your stuff?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me share it.
You mean the original Thundercats, or like the
No. Just at Consumer Products.
Oh.
They had us working on, or mainly me working on a style guide for Thundercats, but they ended up using the art on for Converse. They did a special pair of Converse tennis shoes.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
All right, let's take a look at same with David Williams Thundercat art. Here we go.
Oh wow. Oh yeah.
So you would do this stuff and it would all be for like, put it on a 7-Eleven cup or something like that, or whatever.
Big beefy
Dude, is that yours?
What's his name?
It's all mine.
I'm looking at that right now for my Lion-O reference.
Well, we know who wins this one.
Thank you.
Oh my god. Oh, look at that Mumra. That's nice. Mumra.
You didn't draw any
there's the
Brave
shoes.
Star, did you?
There's the shoes right there.
Where?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man. That's fun.
Oh, look at that, man. Those are cool. How much are those worth now? Do you got a pair?
Yeah, I only got one pair. I wanted the Mumras and the Chitara, but they only gave me the group shot ones. I got them in storage.
Oh god, that Mumra one is cool, dude. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is so funny. I just randomly pulled your Lion-O off the internet to use as my
Yeah,
my
this
reference.
is the coolest Lion-O. I gotta use this for reference.
Yeah, this guy can actually draw. What's up with that?
I'll definitely win if I follow this one.
Wait a minute, who's this tiger dude with the cat of nine tails or whatever it was there?
That's
Tigra.
Tigra, yeah.
What kind of a name is that for a dude, man?
Exactly.
My
But
favorite
he's
was
still
Panthro.
favorite because he was the smartest one out of all.
Nah. I like Panthro. He made stuff.
Panthro
Made
was
that-
good too.
Yeah, the bald dude.
Yeah, how he made the tank. Man, I
Yeah.
love that tank.
Oh, that is really cool. There you go, David Williams showing off his wide
Great.
variety of skills. Stuff he used to do ages ago back at Warner Brothers. Before he had
He's actually still working on it. He was going to finish it next week.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it out.
Yeah. I'm still fine tuning it.
Yeah.
That's right. He'll have it done next week for you. You can see the final.
Yeah, fine tuning.
Oh god, that's good.
He's waiting to see
Nothing
what
but the
Aaron
best.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see what yeah. Warner Brothers is still waiting on it.
They got that last paycheck they're withholding from him until he finishes it.
Or not Warner Brothers. Do they own it now? Who is it now?
I'm assuming so if they're doing style guide stuff for it.
Yeah. All right. I'm messing up.
Well, I don't see. I'm starting to figure Kelsey's strategy out, man. I mean, he just kind of a fairly simple design. Kind of a half of a character, and then you can start painting. The rest of us are doing these complex things that
He's gonna put right in the center of that gun, super hot red.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Everybody goes, yeah, Kelsey's so cool. Look at that red.
Oh man, that gun! It's like flaming hot.
No. It'll be white though. Probably be white. It'll be bright. Definitely.
Exercising the tricks of the trade.
But
this isn't a competition, of course. It's just a friendly gathering.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I figure this is all it'll take to kick y'all's ass. That's all. I don't. I'm just aiming to beat you guys. That's all.
Well, there's no winning or losing on this show.
Oh, right. You're right.
The camaraderie of drawing in the studio, unless of course people prefer mine, then I'm totally fine with them pointing that out in the chat. Yeah, man, I'm going double character here, man. I'm trying to.
Is that your winning strategy? Is double characters?
Well, actually, I didn't really want to do that, but it's like I can't draw any of the.
Somebody clip that. I can't draw.
Yeah, I can't draw that the end.
Kelsey's gonna clip it. He's got it.
That's going to be my interview with.
That's
with
right.
you, Nick.
I knew it. Yep.
No, I can't draw the Thundercats.
He did it again.
Yeah, I know. I can't. I'm going to say it one more time. I can't draw the Thundercats without Mumra, and I don't want to just draw Mumra. So I've got to do 2 characters. That way I can get Mum-Ra in there. So.
Well, if you draw Mum-Ra, you're going to have to draw Cheetara. And if you draw Cheetara, you got to draw Wily Cat and Wily Kid. And if you draw them, you got to draw Panthro. Because, man, you can't do a Thundercats piece without Panthro. I mean... And the Thunder Tank. If you got to have Panthro, you're going to have the Thunder Tank.
You got to have the Thunder Tank on there, man.
I mean, you got to do Snarf.
Oh, yeah. Dude, man. Well, I guess I better start over.
Yeah. Yeah, just add some paper to it, you know.
Yeah.
Just take some paper on it, just keep going. It's like this endless wraparound cover. It just keeps going.
Yeah, see, I mean, I'm just doing the most popular character from the show, but you're doing Thundercats. There's a lot of really popular characters. So you got your work cut out for you.
You know, I got to do a Thundercats pinup for Wildstorm, I think it was, when Scott Dunbier was editor-in-chief. And I was going through a period of time where I was not getting any work. And he would like throw me bones every once in a while, and that was really cool. I get to do that.
What was the cover? Do you remember?
Well, it was just a pinup for like
a pinup.
Yeah, the cover was the Thundercats book was J. Scott Campbell did the cover. I can't remember who did the interiors, but
I remember that.
Oh, Ed McGuinness is in that, right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I did a pinup in the back of all the Thundercats, and then Mum-Ra behind him, because of course I had to get Mum-Ra in there.
I might have that book somewhere. I'll dig that out.
Yeah, I got to put it in the back, man. It was during the lean years for me.
Hey, slumming it with some Thundercats.
Dude, man, I'll tell you, during that period of time, it was like after I got blacklisted from DC because Tachyon tanked, and they blamed me for it, and so I couldn't get any work, and I couldn't get my foothold at Marvel at the time. I had started at Marvel, then went to Malibu, then went to DC, and then I couldn't get back in at Marvel. So I was like constantly sending them stuff and doing stuff, trying to get in at Marvel. And all the while, like just calling anybody I knew and just to give me anything, you know, I'll do anything kind of thing. And Bo Smith, what? No, I wouldn't. Well, okay, it wasn't that bad, but Bo Smith was working with Todd, and he said, hey, you want to do a Spawn pinup? I'm like, I'll do anything. And they like paid me to pencil and ink it like $1,200.
Wow.
And this was back in, you know, the late 90s.
Yeah.
And so that was, I mean, that was like, ooh, okay, I can survive for, you know, a week and a half or something now.
Dave's got some of those Spawn paycheck stories, don't you? Didn't you do one of those pinups too?
Yep.
Yeah.
I did medieval Spawn. I did a real sort of golden inspired medieval Spawn.
Ooh.
I think I'll dig that up. Well, I should be drawing. I'll dig it up and show you guys. Find it on the interweb.
Medieval Spawn.
Well, I wanted to do something cool because I knew I had to sell the original artwork too, because I was like, you know, anything I can get to eat, right? So,
well, and you know that'll sell too. Spawn at that time period.
Oh yeah,
probably doing okay.
Oh, it was just red hot. Where are we? Come on. How can I type in? Well, it's showing the cover of the book it's in, but it's not showing my piece. And then, I put in Lopresti Spawn and Plastic Man came up. What? How does that happen? You know, it's like, how do you spell medieval? Medieval's tough. It's M.
It's got an I and an E in there somewhere.
I know, but I don't know where it goes.
I think an A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it comes up and says, "Did you mean medieval Spawn?" It's spelled correctly. Thank you.
Did you mean?
I'm surprised they didn't spell it medieval, you know, for Spawn. That's what they should have done.
Let's see, Lopresti medieval Spawn pinup. You'd think it would come up, and
Google doesn't even want to have anything to do with it. Dang,
I know. What the heck, man? Are you kidding me? There's a Wonder Woman piece. Why is it? It's just like these random images I drew, but not the one I want.
It's in there somewhere. Keep looking.
It goes to the thing that people Google the most on you.
It's got Brandon Peterson's Spawn Witchblade cover, which is actually pretty cool.
Oh yeah, those are good. I like Aaron Weisenfeld's medieval Spawn thing that he did. Had like a big robot made out of wood.
Well, that was a great thing because they just basically told me you can do whatever you want. I'm like, really? Which is almost too much, latitude. Because then you're like,
yeah,
I can do anything. What am I going to do?
Yeah, I usually don't like that because I need some kind of they're like, just do whatever you want.
There it is.
Too many options.
Like, the truth is, I don't want to do this, so tell me what to do.
Yeah, just give me an idea and I'll do it.
Like, dude, I'm only doing this for the money. Just tell me what you want me to draw. All right, here it is. All right, hang on. I'll get it.
Am I frozen again?
I got all this again. How can you tell? There's no movement on your screen. How would I know?
I got the.
No, your hand's moving.
It is now. I think it's because my screensaver keeps kicking on. So, yeah.
All right, there it is.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Nice. That is. It reminds me of the Golden Zorro. Is that what you were trying to do?
Well, I wasn't
Zorro
looking
that he
at,
did?
I wasn't. I think no. He did that Spawn card. That really cool Spawn card.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he had those like the skeletons floating around him, and that sort of inspired me to do this.
You should check out he did a Zorro cover. It's not. There's nothing like this, but you kind of almost hit the same flavor that he did in that, with like the horse, except he's got like a whole pile of skulls that he's writing over.
Maybe I have to go check it out because maybe I saw it and I'm forgetting. But
no, I don't think it's that similar. I'm just saying it has like that flavor. It's funny because you were talking about a whole other Golden. But it's like you captured the flavor of like multiple Golden.
Well, look down to the bottom right. You can see my signature. I was ripping off Golden because Golden used to sign his in that little circle.
Oh yeah.
And so I was going through my Golden phase. Pope Alexander the 13th for $2. Thank you, Pope, for joining us. Kelsey, I would buy a comic non-computer by you. What does that mean, Kelsey? I would buy a comic.
Something not done in the computer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So he's saying, Kelsey, break away from the technical crutches that you're on and get back to the good old ways of producing comics.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing my own book like that.
Hashisuku Toshiro says, Kelsey, fix your screen. So I guess we were frozen there.
Yeah, I think I'm back.
Let's see. Dad's Den of Pop Culture says that Damsel in Distress has a Dave Stevens vibe. Yeah, it definitely does. I was looking at Dave a lot too. But then look at this. But then Henry Jermick says that woman looks very Michael Golden. it's all what It's all your perception.
The eyes of the beholder.
Yeah. Kevin Thomas says Todd is supposed to do a Kickstarter medieval Spawn someday. Can you imagine how much money he would raise?
Woo!
If he did that.
Hey, Todd, call me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, Pope. Here's another one from the Pope. The Pope is spending the church's money today. $5. Thank you, Pope Alexander. Appreciate that. Future contest. Ancient mythology, story character from anywhere in the world. Illustrate the myth like Beowulf, St. George slaying the dragon, something like that. It's a good idea.
I think you should I mean, not necessarily with this, but it would be fun to do like a mix and match thing, like pick two things out of a hat, like ancient mythology, and then you pick another thing out of that hat, and it's cyberpunk. So then you got to do a cyberpunk ancient mythological thing. You know what I mean? Like mix and match.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You're just thinking, yeah, no.
No. I was looking at David. Let me go. David was showing his on the screen, so I got distracted. I want to go.
Dang,
dude. Wrong one. Hang on. There we go. Okay, do it. Show us again, David.
Oh man, that's awesome. Wow. How cool
we won't see that
layouts.
Dudes, we're not going to be seeing that till next week.
Might not see that for a month or two. Yeah, whipping out the multi-character shots.
Hmm.
You should just throw some ink down on this. Call it a day. Come on.
Well, see, that's the thing. That well, I don't know. Does that slow you down, David? Do you think, like, then putting paper over that and inking it rather than inking the original?
Nope.
I guess it wouldn't, would it?
No.
Skull Nasher. Damn, that looks cool.
What takes all the time? Probably you're going to do all the lighting on it straight to ink, or what do you do?
Well, I'm going to try to keep it as open as possible because I was going to watercolor it.
Oh boy! See, here we go. All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, like a real man. Like.
Okay. All right.
See, I got the broken moon back there from the show.
Oh yeah! Look at that. He knows his thunder.
Ariel, Ookla, ride.
Do you have the tidal wave crashing through the city like in the opening credits?
That's already past that, so they're into the adventure already.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
guess if that's what you want to do. Yeah. If you don't want to draw the city or anything, I mean,
Oh no, it's back there.
No,
it is.
No, you're right. That'd be too difficult for him. He's got to keep it simple.
No, I got it. So I guess I'm done already. I'm done for that.
No, I don't think you are. You got to start eating that sucker.
Yeah, I want to see some partial inks on that.
Yeah,
I bet you do.
Dude, we got an hour left, so you got to do something.
Yeah, I know.
You could ink that in an hour.
Yeah, you could ink that yeah, come on,
I
David.
could juggle.
Quit.
I could tell jokes.
Wow.
Look, it's not that bad a piece. Don't worry about it. Just ink it up, call it a day.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
It's not bad. Go ahead and finish it up.
Everything you do doesn't have to be great. Just it'll be fine.
Oh, Kelsey, you messed up.
Yeah, right.
We'll start over.
My confidence is at a high level today, so don't even.
That crap's gonna work on me today. I'm feeling it.
I finished inking like 3 or 4 Nexus pages before breakfast. I'm on fire.
DJ Martinez is joining us. Aha, I knew Aaron would illustrate something with the Thundercats. Good afternoon. So I guess 80s was the clear winner. Yeah, it won by a landslide, in fact. I was kind of hoping for the 60s, but didn't really pull through. I guess our audience skews a little bit younger than me.
Well, you add that in the list. Like you said, you're going to do like a rehash or repoll of some of these because some of them are great. I'd like to do some.
I keep putting them back in there and
give it another losing. Shot. Yeah.
Well, I did the rehash poll. That was last week, and it came out to be what did we do last week?
No,
Ditko.
Oh yeah, Ditko.
I had Edgar Rice Burroughs, Ditko, and Johnny Quest, and they picked Ditko. So Andrew Zakis says, "What was the cartoon that had the blob-like creature?" You're thinking of the Herculoids, my friend. That was Gleep and Glop. Was it Gloop?
Gleep and Gloop. Yeah. I used to love that. All those, they're so short. I didn't remember them being so short. But they would
they're just like 10-minute cartoons, probably with commercial.
And they would put them in a group of several of them on a show.
Yeah, there would be like 3 of them in a 30-minute show.
Yeah. Oh, what's that?
Is that me? I hope it's not me.
Is that you? Me?
That was me. Sorry.
Oh, what were you? What was
drumming
that?
Or something? He's drumming. GJ Martinez says, "Hi, Kelsey and Brohawk." So he's saying hello to all of us. He's being nice. Creative Face says, as Jake Parker says, finished, not perfect. I don't know who he's possibly referring to on this stream, but that's the thing. I put 70s down as a choice, and in the 70s, if you picked the 60s or the 70s, you would have been able to do the FF because it was a 60s cartoon and a 70s cartoon.
All right.
Because Marvel had all those 60s cartoons.
I'll be back.
The Shmoo, that was another blobby character that had his own cartoon. That's right. The Fantastic Four with Herbie the Robot instead of the Torch. I know. It sucked. I used to think someone told me it was because they didn't want kids playing with fire or some dumb thing like that. But that's not the reason why Human Torch wasn't in there. And they did that Herbie the Robot thing. Anybody? Bueller?
What? Say it again.
You know how in the 70s FF cartoon they didn't have the Human Torch, they had Herbie the Robot?
Oh yeah.
I had heard originally that they didn't include the torch because, you know, they didn't want kids playing with fire or whatever, but I heard that actually there was some sort of copyright or some...
Yeah, I heard the copyright thing. That's what it ended up being, something like that.
Yeah, because somehow the copyrights had got split up or something, and because I was like, that's so lame that they won't show us fire because we're kids. I want to burn something down, man. No. Actually, we had a kid in our neighborhood that did that, torched a whole field of grass playing with matches. Everybody's worried about guns now. Back then it was like matches. Don't play with fire. Are you guys still with me? Or am I doing this by myself? Okay.
No,
all right.
I'm with you.
All right.
You can't hear me?
Well, I can hear you. Yeah, but you weren't saying anything. And David and Kelsey wasn't saying anything. And I'm like,
Kelsey's gone.
Have I been abandoned?
He dipped out.
Okay. You can't take it anymore.
You should read the chat. What's going on in the chat? A lot of good stuff.
Well, dude, I'm trying to draw. Let's see. Oh, David Williams. Look at David Williams is in the chat. No wonder he's not talking. Bestest to the mighty chat. Thanks again for making me number one and Kelsey and AA are on 4th and 5th. Wow. Like you're backstabbing me, man, right in front of me. This is terrible. Smoking the bear. You scared Jody says Aaron burned his hair off. Almost once I did that, almost, but Art Vandelay coming in. Today's a total victory for Aaron. Those Thundercats look awesome. Yeah, Art Vandelay. He knows this stuff.
Art Vandelay.
No, I technically won because you're using me for reference.
True. Oh god. No, that's true. We had some kid in our neighborhood, man. He was out there like with a book of matches, and there was this huge field out there. There was nothing but, you know, just wild grass. Torched the whole thing.
What?
Got in a little bit of trouble, as you can imagine.
Oh, I got something we can talk about.
Uh-oh.
This sounds deep.
No, not at all. Did you guys listen to James Gunn's slate for the DC?
Oh yeah.
I haven't yet. Seems to be mixed reaction to it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have been happy. Huh?
It's mixed with poo-poo and corn.
Ooh, the worst kind.
Yeah.
I don't know that I wouldn't have been happy with any of it. So it doesn't matter. I just want them to stop. Just go
it's
do
all
something
hot
else.
garbage.
Okay, well, speaking of corn, I got to tell a quick story.
Oh, it's gonna make me sick.
It might. But I think it's funnier than it is gross.
Okay.
So Bill Stout, the illustrator, right? He in the early 90s or late 80s, early 90s, he went to Antarctica on like an expedition.
Whoa.
To paint. And so he painted all these like just, ice flows, and then he would like incorporate some of the, like penguins and then some dinosaur stuff with the ice flows, that type of thing. And so he's telling me the story that, well, one, this isn't about the corn, but we'll get to the corn. Where they were going from like one like ice flow to another in this like sort of, those rubber raft speedboat things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the big rubber rafts, but they have the engines on and stuff.
Yeah.
And he said, they were going from one flow to the other, and they were just, and and the water was really, really rough. And he said they had these leopard seals, which of course will eat you. They're like freaking sharks, right? And are just swimming around them while they're doing this. And they were hitting waves, and he was flying up in the boat, and he thought for sure they were going to crash in, and hit the water, and it would be dead meat because these leopard seals would eat them. Mm-hmm. And of course they didn't. But I remember him telling me this harrowing tale of this, and I'm just thinking, geez, man. But so he said there was this, they had this encampment, right? And they had dug out these like toilets or whatever, and the pipe would run through the ice and down out into the water, right? And so they went scuba diving, I guess, down there. And there's this pipe out there, and it was like at the bottom of this pipe was just a big pile of corn because it doesn't really digest yourself.
Oh, gross!
They had all this canned corn they were eating, and it all just came out. There's a big pile of corn down there in the bottom of the Antarctic.
That's the thing that lasts. Yeah, the corn.
That's what we left behind was our corn. Oh god, that's terrible, but hilarious at the same time.
He didn't finish the story, and he said those were their leftovers.
Yeah. They go down and reharvest the corn to have something to eat.
That's right.
Yeah, so went from being nearly killed by leopard seals to a big pile of corn at the bottom of the Antarctic.
The good days.
Can you imagine, though? I mean, I give the guy credit, man, for being, that dedicated to your craft. They're like, yeah, I'm going to go to the Antarctic for 6 months and paint. Go, yeah, I'm not. Tell me how it is.
I used to think about that. I was like, should I want to be like a guy that goes to the top of Mount Everest? I mean, should I? No, I'm fine watching it on TV.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be
actually okay. Yeah. I like watching other people go. Yeah, I like to watch.
I used to go to Stout's house because he used to have life drawing classes.
Yeah, he had that studio thing there in Pasadena.
Yeah,
right. And it was down from his house, right? It was like a second building that he owned that he had like all of his art and stuff in.
Man, that would have been.
Yeah, I've been there,
dude.
And I was just like, after 3 times, I just said, no, I can't do this because everybody in there was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Forget this.
Anybody we know? Anybody like?
No, just a bunch of Disney art. It was a lot of Disney artists there, and I didn't know them, but I was just so intimidated. I was just like, man, forget this.
Yeah, when I was there, the only comic artist that came in was Mike Vosberg.
I love Vosberg.
Yeah, Vos was great.
And but he was there. But see, it was me and Terry Dodson and Shelley and Rachel were down there in LA for a weekend, just movie poster hunting and going to Universal and all that kind of stuff. And so we went. Stout was working at Universal at the time, working on a bunch of video game theme parks they were supposedly creating for DreamWorks. And so we went and visited him while he was, and had lunch in the commissary and all that kind of stuff, and met some stars in line at the buffet, the fun stuff like that. And but so we went over to his place in Pasadena when he was doing the live drawing on, I guess it was Sunday afternoon. And but we were spent the whole time looking through his flat files. We weren't even paying attention.
Yeah.
Right. And but at the end of the show, in typical Stout fashion, I always admired Stout because he could totally separate friendship from business. And it was like, he never gives you a break on anything price wise or anything. Hey, it's business, and it's like, and you sort of respect that, right? And so we were sitting there, and he was collecting money for everybody doing the live drawing, and me and Terry had to pay for the model, even though we didn't draw because we were there. Oh, funny.
No free rides.
That's right. But we got to look through his stuff, so that was certainly worth, the $10 we had to chip in or whatever.
Yeah.
He had this great oil painting he had done of Arnold as a pirate. And
what movie was that from?
Well, here's the thing. It was supposed to be this Arnold pirate movie, right? And what's her face? Who was he married to before he?
Maria Shriver.
Yeah, before he cheated on her. Are they still married? I don't think they are.
No. Mm-mm.
And so she talked about him and said, "You're going to look stupid as a pirate. Don't do that." And so it never got off the ground. But it was like, some production art or whatever.
Man, she ruined it. I'm glad she's
come on, Maria. I want to be a pirate.
Yeah, I know exactly. Can you imagine?
Yo ho ho! With a bottle of rum.
Come on, let's get the booze, man.
Get to the mainsail.
Grab her booty. Yeah, so that was. But we saw a bunch of stuff like that. And he did a lot of
cutlass. No, I'm sorry.
Do you guys remember that television show, Dinosaurs?
Oh yeah.
That was like I think it wasn't that Jim Henson, or maybe it wasn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it Henson? Yeah, I love that show. And but he did like all the production work for it, and so he had like a bunch of color illustrations of those characters. That was really cool.
Yeah, well, that definitely seems like his. It's funny. I never thought about him working on that, but yeah, I always remember from Wizards. The Wizards cover that he did.
Oh God! The movie poster.
Yeah, the movie poster. Yeah.
Well, that's like the ultimate treat, because Plug did all the storyboards and all the
all those
those illustrations at the beginning,
storybook things. Yeah, so cool.
So you got this great stout movie poster, and then
that was better than the movie. Stout's thing was better than the movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the backstory with the Plug art, that was way more interesting than the film.
Oh, what's the story? I don't know if I've heard that.
Well, no, it tells about how the at the beginning, remember at the beginning of the film where they talk about how the Earth got to its Armageddon stage, and they used all those Plug illustrations to.
I thought maybe you were saying there was a great story of Bakshi like hiring Plug.
Oh, no.
I'm sure there is, because there's always a Bakshi story.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure there. I used to be pretty close with Mike, and like 25, 30 years ago. And he's since forgotten me. It's the weirdest thing. I have that effect on people. Like 10 years from now, people are going to go, "Who's that guy you live streamed with?" You guys are going to be going, "Who? What are you talking about? Who?"
Yeah, Aaron Weisenfeld. Was that
name?
Was it
when I get rich? I'm going to do Aaron.
What's that? What'd you say, Dave?
When I get rich, I'm going to forget you guys too.
Yeah.
Well, but you're doing that on purpose. I don't think it is on purpose. I just think there's something about me that chemically imbalances people. They can't remember me after a certain amount of time. But
I'm having trouble remembering who you are now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, every week I send you the link, and you're like, "What is this about?" And what are you talking about? What is this? Who are you again? Yeah, it's like, what was that movie that Adam Sandler was in, where Drew Barrymore had like every day she'd forget him and he'd have to start over again?
Oh, 51st dates or something like that. Yeah, I can't believe I know what that is.
That's me. But yeah, I mean, he told me all that crap about working with Bakshi, and I don't remember any. I'm as bad as Plug now, I guess, because I don't remember any of the stories off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't.
But I'm sure they were good.
Yeah, Bakshi, he would have been. I don't know. He's kind of like a hit or miss guy. I think I just like him as a character himself.
Yeah.
Just as a firebrand for animation. He's like, he gets all mad at the kids today. He's like, if I had access to what you guys have today, I would have made 15 cartoons by now. It's like, you guys could do it from your house. Yeah, he had to like beg, borrow, and steal, and manipulate, and he did everything he could to make his movies. I remember.
Well, he ton of that stuff was rotoscoped, and
yeah, well, you have to. Trying to find really good animators at the level that he was producing these. He had you know, a lot of the good ones were stretched thin on the budget.
Well, you got to imagine I guess when he was doing his stuff in the 70s, there was still a lot of people. I mean, traditional animation was still the thing, but yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. There's people that can do it and there's people that are really good at it, you know?
Well, there's also, he was a New York guy. So the New York animation scene was a lot different than the West Coast animation scene. You got a lot of like UPA kind of stuff. You know, there's a whole different kind of vibe to like, you know, East Coast animation versus like West Coast. You know, because you got Disney on the West Coast and everything's kind of like Disney and Warner Brothers. Was Warner? Yeah, Warner's was in that feels New Yorkish, doesn't it?
You had Biggie working on the East Coast and you had Tupac working on the West. And so their styles just didn't mesh. And so it was havoc.
I love the East Coast animation style. Like there's this one guy that did what was it? The Angry Youth, a lot of the MTV stuff. You know, what am I thinking of? The Specialists. I forget the guy's name, but yeah, just much more like simple and not trying to convince you that it's real, you know.
Exactly.
It's just animation. It's just meant to entertain you and be funny. I like that stuff.
Hey, HR says, and I forgot about this too. HR says there's a Planet of the Apes cartoon from the early 70s. There was.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
There's Flash Gordon also.
Yeah.
Yep.
Corey Landis dropping in. It's the good stuff stream. You better believe it, brother.
Yeah.
Only the good stuff here. Art Vandalay is saying, David, we can't see your drawing us because David is light tabling right now. So you're going to have to wait until the big reveal at the end where he shows his art a third of the way done. And Kelsey and I will be completely finished.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
HR says Heavy Traffic is on YouTube. That's a Ralph Bakshi film.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he started out in like Fritz the Cat and Underground stuff, didn't he? Or
yeah, well, I mean,
cartoons, I guess we'd call them.
Yeah, I think what's his name? Crumb hated that cartoon. Yeah, which I actually like it. I think it's one of Bakshi's better ones.
I have not seen it. I saw the only thing I saw Wizards, of course. I saw Lord of the Rings. I saw what was the rock and roll one? American Pop.
American Pop. Yeah, I like Coonskin, but that's kind of racy, especially today.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great. It's got Scatman Carruthers at the beginning singing some song, freaking awesome. But it's filled with stereotypes.
Yeah.
Did you like Rock and Rule?
Oh, yeah, kinda. That wasn't Bakshi, but definitely that time period. I don't really remember it.
I remember the film, but I don't remember ever seeing it. Rock and Rule.
Yeah,
it's like a sci-fi rock and roll.
Oh,
yeah,
Debbie Harry
had that kind of anthropomorphic rat people and stuff, but it was all about rock and roll. And
yeah. The design of the characters kind of bugs me. That's what it kind of keeps me from watching it. But I remember the animation being like top notch.
Yeah. I love that. Maurice White did this really awesome song for the soundtrack called Dance, Dance, Dance. That was really good.
Yeah, I need to see it again. It's been like I'm not even sure I've actually seen it like all the way through. Like I've seen pieces of it. I've used pieces of it for videos and stuff, but I'm not sure I've actually like sat down and watched the movie.
I always looked at it like that was a post-apocalyptic type world and everybody turned into rats.
Oh, is there like a story behind what the hell's going on?
But I always just put that in my head to absorb it. I said, okay, this has to be some kind of mutation with humans.
Who were they fighting against? Because even the bad guy was kind of like a rat guy, right?
Yeah, they were all rats.
I mean, that's just like a metaphor for the music industry, right?
Oh, maybe. Oh,
Pretty much.
skating. I was always partial to anything Don Bluth.
Yeah, Bluth did some cool stuff.
Yeah. But my favorite stuff of his is the freaking cartoon, the video games, the Space Ace, Dragon Slayer, and Space Ace. So like, those are like, and those are like the two. No, they suck to play. But I actually downloaded. Somebody's played through and put the whole thing on YouTube as like as just an animation. So I just downloaded it and I'll just watch that occasionally.
Man,
but those are like the few things that he did that weren't like fairy tale garbage, which I always hated that.
Well, did you not like American Tail?
Oh no, it's great. Yeah, that and the dinosaur one.
Well, the first dinosaur one he did, all the sequels are just
yeah. Well, I hadn't bothered watching any of that stuff, but yeah, the first one. But it's so like depressing. I mean, it's so dark. All his stuff is really.
Well, yeah. Well,
but you got to give me the cool. Like I mean, the coolest thing about the 5-0 Goes West is like when they finally like build a giant rat monster at the end and like. No, that's a good movie. I like that movie.
I liked Secret of NIMH too, although it scared the crap out of a lot of kids that saw it.
Talk about dark, yeah.
Well, that was dark, but
the dark in that's working for me for some whatever reason. I mean, American Tail and all that is also works on me, but in a different kind of way. I don't know.
My daughter's favorite movie his favorite movie. Let me try that again. My daughter's favorite animated film is that Bluth Rasputin one, the one with.
Oh yeah.
The Russian princess. What the heck was that?
Anastasia.
Called? Anastasia. Yeah.
That's a lush animated movie.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money on that.
Well, it's cool that someone broke away from Disney and actually did his studio produced 5 or 6 really good films.
He almost
pretty remarkable.
I met him at a animation. It wasn't a convention. It was a film festival, and it was right when he was starting that Fox Animation, and he actually tried to get me to go there. Yeah, exactly. He tried to touch me. No.
Okay, show us on the doll where he touched you.
Yeah, no, but he was recruiting for everybody to come to Fox Animation to do the 2 movies they did there, the Anastasia and then the sci-fi one that they did.
What was the sci-fi one?
Titan AE.
Oh yeah, I never saw that. I remember that coming out though. I wasn't really sure what it was. Maybe that's why I didn't go see it.
It's okay. There's some fun stuff going on in there. Oh dang it! I just messed up.
Yeah.
Huh?
If you screwed up, got to start over. You know the rules.
Well, I'm using gouache here for one thing, and that's
cheating.
Well, no, it's a little different than watercolor. It just covers ink. It doesn't.
Right. Well, it's opaque, but it never dries like acrylic, so you can still mess it up later if you want to.
Don't tempt me. I might.
Now, what's this? Rock-a-Doodle doesn't get a lot of love, but it's a favorite of mine. Says Kevin Thomas. Which Rock-a-Doodle? I assume that's an animated film.
It's a Don Bluth.
Bad.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've seen bits that all look really cool. But I'm, kind of over it.
Fardog says Rock and Roll was loosely connected to Nelvana's animated TV special, The Devil and Daniel Mouse. That's why they look like mouse people.
That freaked me out too.
Oh.
This isn't it isn't Christmas time, but did you guys ever see the Chuck Jones 30-minute TV animation of Christmas Carol?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I don't
He didn't direct it; he produced it, but it is so cool. It's on YouTube, man. You check out Chuck Jones' Christmas Carol. It's like 30 minutes long.
Yeah, gosh, I don't
Great.
think I've ever seen that. Interesting.
Really cool.
Oh,
That's really cool.
That is the bonus of gouache, man. I just erased the part that I thought I messed up. I'm liking this. I can get used to this.
Fix my mistakes. Yeah, now you can fix your mistakes without starting over.
If only you guys were working with gouache.
Yeah,
you can fix whatever it is you guys are doing right now.
Well, I'm sorry. What are you trying? What are you trying to say? Well, there's an implication there. I'm trying to kind of get through the.
Well, the implication is you guys suck.
I see. I see. Well, we got basically 35 minutes to go, so I'm going to get this done, at least black and white. But I guess if David's going to color everything and Kelsey's going to color everything, it's like then I got to color it.
Hey, because I did 3 characters.
I'm doing 2.
3 is more than 2. Duh.
Well, I don't like the direction this is headed.
boys, there's no use competing against me. It's so cute, though. Go ahead.
Well, no, I don't think it is cute. I think this is David's like. I don't know, man. He's like trying to sabotage my reputation or something. I don't know what his end goal is here, but I'll get to the bottom of it.
What is your rep?
I don't. Well, it's not good now.
Yeah, I don't think my rep's ever been good.
Good and reliable has always been my. But never great, which always pissed me off because I wanted to be great. But once you sort of get kind of an established reputation within the industry, it's really hard to get anybody to deviate from that, right? So it's like, for example, if everybody thinks you're the best thing ever, you can start doing crap and they still think you're the best thing ever. And if, let's say you start out doing crap like I did, and then you actually get, pretty decent along the way, they still think, oh yeah, he's that sucky old guy. Give him a fill-in, That's why I like working for Dan. Dan DiDio actually really liked my stuff, so I got a level of respect there that I never got anyplace else.
I used to get that. Michael Ringo used to complain about that. He's like, I always get like the same kind of thing, and he's like, I really want to do something different. I'm like, why don't you ask for it? And he's like, oh no. I'm like, he's like, oh, I really wish you would color my stuff. And I'm like, why don't you ask for me? And he was like, nah, I can't do that. I mean, he just didn't want to like
rock the boat.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Mike was really popular though. Like I was never that popular like he was. I mean, within the ranks, not even just talking about the fans, but just within the ranks.
Yeah.
At least that was my impression.
I guess. Yeah. I think
he didn't feel that way, huh? I mean, I knew him a little bit.
He didn't.
Great.
I'm pretty sure he knew his worth and what he can get away with, but I think he was just not a difficult guy. Didn't want to be seen as difficult, So I know a lot of guys like this that are still working today. It's like, oh, they don't particularly. They wish they could do this or that, or do something, change the thing they're working on, but they need the work.
Well, yeah, there's always, if you're not like totally sure of yourself, right, which is really hard to be, you don't want to push too far and then get yourself in trouble and realize that maybe you're more expendable than you thought you were.
Yeah, that was me.
Me
I never really cared whether or not I was doing if I was like a fan favorite. I just kind of had or an editor favorite. I just had a very specific way I wanted to do something, and it's like and it was always like, no, you can't do that, no, you can't do that. So I don't if I was what the hell were we talking about? I knew there was something in there that I was getting to, but I forgot.
being able to sort of make demands or not.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, I was nobody, and I made plenty of demands, but I didn't get anywhere.
And I was going to say, look where it got you.
Yeah.
Well, I only took a stand twice couple times in my career. Once was at Marvel when I just finished Ms. Marvel, and they wanted me to do Ultimate Fantastic Four, right? Take over Ultimate Fantastic Four, and I was like, okay. But I said, and they'd got Greg Horn to do all the covers for Ms. Marvel, which I was not happy with. But that's the way it was, right? So I said, okay, I'll do it. I said, but I'm doing my own covers. And they're like, and so I said there, and I said, okay. I said, let me prove to you, which was dumb because I'd been working for Marvel for 4 or 5 years at that point, right? And I'd done covers for them before, like Excalibur. I did, I told Mike Marks, because I knew Mike really well when I took over Excalibur. I was like, dude, I know you got so-and-so doing the covers, but I really should be doing the covers on my own book. He's like, yeah, you're right. And so he gave me the covers, and I got Tim Townsend to ink them, and they all looked really, really cool.
Ooh.
So, but, then I would bounce around and do projects where sometimes I would do the covers and sometimes I wouldn't, depending on, I did a What If that was really cool. It was a What If Avengers Disassembled, and they had Gary Frank doing the cover, and I said, no. I said, I'm doing the cover. And so they basically said, okay, and they let me do the cover, and I don't know what they did with Gary's cover, but so anyway, I told them, I was really ticked about the whole Ms. Marvel thing, not getting to do the covers. But so when they offered me Ultimate FF, I said, okay, but I'm doing the covers. Well, they come back and they're humming and hawing, right? Well, we don't know. And so I said, look, let me do a cover piece of what I, plan on doing, and then you guys make your decision. So it was one of those Bugs Bunny moments, where he tricks somebody into like the sheriff of Nottingham. He tricks him into building. He sells him like the rose garden to the king's, and he builds his house. He's halfway through building the house before he realizes he's been duped. And so I'm sitting there. I'm about halfway done with this cover sample, and I'm like, this is absurd. I've been working for these guys for 4 years, and I'm doing a cover sample to prove them. So I got really pissed, right? And so then I called up Dan DiDio, and that's when I, made a deal to go over to DC. And so I finished the cover piece, turned it in, and they're like, yeah, this is good. You can do the covers. And I said, nah, I quit. And then I went over to DC. So they weren't probably ever happy with me again after that. I don't think I ever did anything for them after that. But
what you drawing?
I'm drawing Shelly Showtime's in the house. I'm doing Thundercats.
Hello, Shelly.
Thundercats. Oh!
Kelsey's in there.
Hi.
There's David.
Hi, David and Kelsey.
Thunder.
Thunder.
See, she used to watch this stuff. Yeah. So, and so that I took a stand there and then quit and walked away from Marvel. And in retrospect, I don't know if I did the right thing or not, because they came back to me and said, look, we don't want you to leave. They were going to pay me. He goes, I'll give you a 1-year deal for like $300 a page or something.
Whoa.
Which is more than I got at DC. But I was just so pissed because I had told them also I had pitched this Man-Thing project I wanted to do. Just a one shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they kept saying, oh, yeah, we can do that. That's cool. Yeah, we'll do it. But you kept putting me off. So I was getting ticked about that. And then the whole cover thing kind of pushed me over the edge. And so when I was at DC, there was several times after Wonder Woman where I'd jump on a miniseries and they'd already hired someone to do the covers. And I'd go, nope, not doing it unless I'm doing the covers. And they're like, I said, sorry. And Death of Hawkman, they'd already hired Simonson to do the covers. And I said, look, I love Walt dearly. I said, but I'm doing my own covers. And then they would go to Dan, and Dan would always stick up for me. He'd go, yeah, he's doing his own covers, whatever.
Whatever.
And so those were the only couple times I would do that. I did that and got kind of testy about stuff. Because you get to a point where you're like, why are you still hiring other people than me to do my covers? This is just absurd. So
yeah, you have to kind of make your own rules. You know, it's like if you're willing to walk, you know,
Yeah.
you can argue. You know, you can like I only want to do my own covers. Oh, well, no, we can't do that. And we're like, okay, well, I'm out of here. And
Yeah.
they'll either say, well, wait a minute, you know, or they'll be like, all right, see ya.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And I mean, at the Marvel situation, I knew I had DC and, you know, lined up.
Yeah.
And, but at some point you just, you know, it's like walking away and doing my own book here, you know, amongst the CG crowd. It's like, at some point you're like, how long can I continue to do this for just, you know, a paycheck and never really getting ahead in terms of getting your own IPs out there or even giving yourself a chance to succeed, you know? And at some point you just got to go, all right, I'm going to do it. Now's the time. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Or I guess you don't have to do that. You can just stick it out until you retire or they cancel you because you're old, which was, I was right on the verge of that anyway. So it's like, you know, once Dan got let go and everybody at DC got let go, it was like, you know, my future looked very bleak, very quickly, you know?
Yeah. It could switch on you real quick. You got to be, got to walk the walk.
Yep. So here I am walking the walk. Now, if I'm working at Walmart a year from now, I want you guys to come and visit me.
I'll come buy my comics or
yeah. You go, hey, Aaron, do you have my latest comic that just came out? I'd have to be nice because I'd be one of those old man greeters at the front door.
Oh yeah. Hey, Aaron. Or no. Well, we wouldn't remember you according to
That's right.
You'd be like, hello.
Remember when we used to do a video show together? You're like, what?
No, that's when I would remember you. I'd say, yes, Aaron. I said, no, I want my groceries in the back of the.
Yeah, I remember Aaron now. Chop, chop.
Yeah, that's huge story, Aaron. Get to work, will you? Old man. Oh, my God.
I said paper.
Go back and rebag these, you son of a. Oh, man. But at least I know I've got future employment lined up if I need it.
Yeah, there's going to be grocery stores.
They're needing old guys forever. You know, here's an interesting thing. There's a fast food place. It's a regional fast food place, and called Burger King. Pardon me, called not Burger King.
I think I might have heard of that.
No. It's called Burger. It's called Burgerville.
Oh, okay. There's this thing I've heard about called
Burgerville.
Oh,
and
continue. Sorry.
Well, they shut down for, you know, during the pandemic for a little bit of time, and then they had, like, their employees were unionizing, which you just can't do in fast food, right? I mean, that's death. And but somehow they worked this out, and so the employees were actually getting paid decent money to work fast food, which I always think is kind of silly, but and they're still offering like a $300 to $500 signing bonus just to work there.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, and now you've got all these like the best drive-through people are like these older folks. You know, like my age or in their 40s or something. They're super polite, you know, you know, they're really good about it. Where, you know, you go through Taco Bell and it's some 19-year-old and he's like, here's your order. And, you know, and there's like, and like, yeah, thanks, have a good day. Yeah, whatever, you know. But
so you're saying you got a future. Yeah.
I'm saying there's possibilities out there for me. As long as they keep that $300 bonus.
Customers at Taco Bell are actually helping you.
What's that?
Quit eating those bad checkout people at Taco Bell are actually helping.
Yeah,
because they act like that. The more you realize you don't need that
terrible
crap.
food. Yeah.
Like, why am I putting up with this crap for this crap?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought it was interesting with this Burgerville thing, because I was like, how are they going to be able to afford to pay their employees this stuff, you know, for a fast food joint? And they just raised their prices like practically, you know, like 25% or something. I mean, significant price raises. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not paying that for a drive-through burger now. So, maybe it'll fall apart all in the end. But I think Walmart's probably fairly secure, so I could go there if I need.
Yeah. I mean, is there? I mean, realistically, is there anything else? I mean,
besides Walmart?
Well, no. Like, if you did this, I mean, if there was no future in this, like you're like finally. I mean,
well, I don't think there is a future in this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't imagine.
No, go ahead. I'm kidding. Well,
I can't even like. Well, I mean, like, I can't even really consider it because it's like even if there was nothing in it for me, I would still do it. So
yeah, I don't know what else I would do.
Yeah. So I'm an institutionalized.
Yeah.
That's why I saw some question going around that was like, if you didn't have an audience, would you still do this? I'm like, yeah. Do I have an audience? I didn't know I had one.
Yeah, I go. Are people watching right now? No, I think that's true because you do this at first. You do it out of the love of, it's who you are. You're an artist, and so you have to create stuff. That's what you do. But then if you're lucky enough, you get things break your way, and you actually get to do it for a living for either a long time or a period of time or whatever. But it's incredibly unstable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what I would do. I went all in on this, man, and
you always got Walmart. Yeah,
that's right. I would definitely have to leave town because that's when I never see anybody I ever went to school with unless I'm unemployed, and then I run into them all the time, right? So it's just like,
of course,
I got to go move someplace where I couldn't possibly know anybody, so that if I.
Yeah, I have no pride. I'd just be they'd be like, what are you working on now? Oh, nothing. Oh, really? Would everything fall apart? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's all over for me, pal. How are you? How are you doing?
Yeah. So how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. Working on our 5th child. Just made my 5th million. Got my 5th house. Oh, it's so nice to hear.
Yeah, I'm doing this indie comic in my garage. I think I'll get some. Maybe I'll put it up online or something.
You got 5 cars, huh? Where do you live?
Yeah, exactly. Can I come borrow one permanently?
Yeah. Well, this is like one of the most bizarre pieces I've done on this show because of the gouache. So I'm not quite certain what's happening with this piece.
Are you making excuses already before we're done? Just in
case? Maybe. Yeah, because I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Some of it's kind of coming out okay.
I don't understand the ways of the gouache.
It's a different kind of thing here. I like it. There's like aspects of it I really like.
I've only really used gouache for touch-up, opaque touch-up. I've never done anything fully in gouache.
It's tricky, that's for sure. But I kind of like the subtle opaqueness of it. It gets some like neat brushy quality to some of it. I don't know that I'm not.
What happens normally if you get gouache on your butt?
What?
You know what happens when you get gouache on your butt?
Tell us, David.
I don't know.
It means you gouached your ass.
Oh. You better gouache it.
Give him a poor courtesy laugh for that one.
Yeah, gouache it there, pal.
Yeah.
Gouache that mouth.
That's right. I'm gonna gouache that mouth out with soap. You guys ever get that when you were a kid? Did you ever get the wash your mouth out with soap thing?
No, I got the paddling with the cutting board and this big crazy cutting board.
Holy crap! You took the cutting board, just beat you with it?
Oh, I didn't have a choice. You mean yeah. Yeah, it wasn't made out of wood.
Well, I don't know. because you're trying to make your point. Old man says, I swear I stopped at a fast food restaurant recently and the drive-through menu was being operated by a voice recognition AI. I asked a question and it didn't understand and I couldn't take my order.
Oh,
Wow, that's crazy.
What's weird is that was a normal person.
They're still working the bugs out, you know.
That wasn't an AI though. That's the sad part. AI would have got the order right.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't the AI, right? That was just that was a high school kid that was employed there.
My light's flickering crazy.
Yeah, you're echoing, you're flickering. It's like
I got some like major. It's got some like scary power issues going on here. If I electrocute myself, you'll know what happened.
That's right. You saw it here first live. Oh man, my ratings will go through the roof.
Last seen on Aaron's channel.
That's right. Watch Kelsey fry himself. We don't mean that in a good way.
Yeah. This is not
Dude, you got that once again,
weird.
you got that explosive, vibrant color going on there.
That's kind of my thing.
I'm still in the black and white stage here. We've got about 15 minutes, gentlemen.
No, you got about 15 minutes.
Yeah, David's got all next week.
Well, it's a good thing I'm here to give the people the show.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
That's right. They're going to get it. You have to do like Kelsey and start drawing smaller, I guess.
Smaller.
Well, yeah.
This is big for me.
What size of paper are you using?
This is like 9 by 14 or something. This is huge.
9 by. Well, see, I'm 11 by 14.
Oh,
So you're
9 by whatever.
You're 9 by 12 then.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm the black guy in the group who's 11 by 17.
What?
I got size
What's that got to do with it?
Size doesn't matter.
Should be drawn on
It'll hit
private
you
paper
later.
if you want to go there. Oh, because it's bigger? Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, come on. Come on, Kelsey, I have to explain the joke to you. Jeez, man.
I get bad humor.
Yeah, I don't laugh at poor attempts at humor.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you're right. I do.
Yeah, when you say
right.
Dumb and Dumber is your favorite movie, then you've got, that's
How much time do we got?
15.
How much time I got to keep milking this? I'm hungry. I want to go eat.
Oh, me too, but,
Can we just say I already won?
there's no winners.
Oh, that's right. Can we just say that you won?
Yeah, that would
All
be
right,
fine. I'm totally cool with that. No, I'm almost done.
All right. This was very strange. Got to like experiment a little with this. See if I can't figure out how to. It seems real washed out on my camera.
You need to put some green in.
Some green.
It's muddy
Because
that way up.
I have every other color. I might as well throw that in there too.
Yeah,
That's right.
Uh-oh. Hang on a second.
All I have to do is Lionel's face, and I am done. At least if I now this is strong enough piece. I could keep this black and white, I think, and be all right.
no.
I know David's going to,
It's the whole point is that Lionel's red hair. You got to get that in there.
Oh,
And
jeez.
Mumra's red shroud. So you got a lot of work to do there, son.
No, I'm not going to get
We're
stuck.
kind of chintzy on the cross too.
Oh my gosh. I might do Mumra in gray in the background and Lionel in color in the foreground. That might be kind of interesting looking.
Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket.
That's the ticket. Oh man. 13
Right
minutes.
about putting this pen before the water's dry. And try it out. It's gonna
Why don't you
make
do it
my
on a
pen-
test paper?
It's going to make my pen turn yellow, I know.
Now, hang on a second here. Misty George says, Shane says Disney stole his Starlight Cats idea.
Well,
And then the Art of Roy,
woman did.
the Art of Roy cover says the lady who stole Shane's IP also had stolen another crowdfunder's IP in the past. Who knows how many she's swiped?
Or how many other people have swiped stuff, not just her. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the whole point of that is that she has precedent of having done it already.
Did you say a stolen IP?
Yeah.
Huh. Strange.
Yeah, it's interesting. That would come up.
It happens.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. But basically she didn't steal his IP. She just basically ripped it off and created her own based on his idea, right? That's right. So there's really nothing he can do.
Well, they got the one show canceled that she was working on because that she had taken, and that was that one was apparently an Academy Award winning short animated film. So, maybe easier to fight that fight if Starlight Cats had won, the Academy Award for best comic or whatever. Yeah. So,
who's this person that's doing all the stealing?
Okay. I don't know.
Name, yeah. Just some.
The problem, you guys. The problem, as many of us know, the problem with defending copyright or trademark is cash.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to survive through court to win, and that can get pretty freaking expensive. And so a lot of times, what I was told very early on by a copyright attorney was, your copyright is only as good as the amount of money you have to enforce it.
Yeah.
So, which kind of sucks, but it's true. Because it's not just, you can't just call the copyright police and they go and arrest somebody for ripping you off. You have to take them to court and prove that they ripped you off, and that costs a lot of money. So if you've got, a bank roll that you can do that, like Ethan did with this Comicsgate thing, the trademark. But the rest of us, you could end up spending literally tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to defend a copyright, depending on how much the person that's ripping you off has, Like if it's Disney or Netflix, well, they're going to have more money than you do. And it's a dicey proposition, man.
Yeah, or you could have an attorney that is so confident in the case that's willing to just take a percentage of whatever the case ends.
If you get lucky, sure, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they would have to feel pretty confident that whoever you're suing has the money to make them happy at the end of the day. And that's the thing, I don't know what Shane's resources are, but I'm sure he doesn't have, $100,000 sitting in the bank just to pursue a lawsuit against Disney or somebody, because that you want to sue Disney, boy, you're in for a long, tough road.
Yeah. Yeah, Shane's independently wealthy, don't you know? Yeah.
Well, okay.
He he actually created the brass button for Blue Jeans. His family did, not him specifically.
The brass button for Levi's or what?
Just the brass. Yeah, the whole IP for the. I don't know.
Just spitballing here.
His fighting days. Yeah, he won several bouts.
Bouts of
whatever boxing terms we.
I was trying to think of a disease that wasn't like too bad, but he had several bouts of the flu or something. And,
yeah, indeed. Yeah,
we'll go with that. That's what I was trying to think of, was scurvy. He had several bouts of scurvy, but he survived it. And,
30 seconds left.
7 minutes. 7 minutes. Oh man, I better ink Lion-O's face, man. I'm messing around. I'm gonna not get this done. So I will get the black and white version done, and I don't know if there will be a color version. Just because David's threatening doesn't mean I have to be intimidated by his threats.
You jacked it up, Kelsey.
I'm trying. This is what happens when I'm waiting around on you fellers to finish doing anything. I start getting twitchy.
Well, dude, you got to make your drawings just a little bit more complex than half a horse shooting a gun. Come on, man.
That's the business half. It's the only part that matters. You guys are out there trying to draw legs and stuff.
It's like, come on. We got time for that nonsense.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder.
Well, you're working on Nexus right now, right?
Yeah, finishing up this one Scourge.
Is this a miniseries or just a one shot?
It's a 48-page graphic novel.
Okay.
And then
Like
we got another one. We're finishing up Triplets, which we started last year, but we're going to do that as a whole complete story.
Well, no, wait a minute. When are you going to have time to do your Shank book if you're doing all this Nexus stuff?
I'm working on it right now. Yeah, that's.
So you're just working all the time, is what you're telling me.
Sure feels like it.
You don't have time to stream. You're like Jesse.
I
the
don't
Body.
really, Aaron.
Time to bleed. Well, hey, but once you commit to a show with me, buddy, you're contractually obligated to show up every week.
Apparently.
And I actually appreciate you actually do showing up. So I know you're as elusive as the Bigfoot.
Yeah, believe me, every fiber of my being wants to go and hide and just work.
This is work, but this is fun work. This is relaxing work.
I guess.
Yeah, sure it is.
It's relaxing when the painting is actually working out. I'm not sure what's happening with this one. So
then look at it as a learning curve kind of thing. You're like experimenting with stuff you wouldn't have had time to mess around with if you hadn't come on the show.
Yeah.
See? Look at the brights.
Only if I did not come on the show and I experimented by myself, no one would see these things.
Yeah, people want to learn by your failures, Kelsey. So just, that's...
And they want to laugh at your failure. Just let them.
Right. Because they would rather see you fail than themselves, right?
Yeah.
So,
right. All right.
Misty George says, Kelsey, can you pursue some sort of lawsuit against Cecil? He's got to be taken down.
He didn't do anything to me, did he?
Yeah, I'm not sure. What's your connection there? Is there some sort of underlying problem that we need to know about?
Just Cecil.
Yeah, him in general.
Can't tolerate his presence. Yeah, something needs to be done with that guy. Yeah.
All righty. 4 minutes. You could actually, if you wanted to, Kelsey, you could just start like waving like a piece of paper over your art to kind of make sure it's all dry, and then that'll give you 4 minutes of activity until I finish noodling this.
I need to do. I need to just stick. I always have this idea of what I want to do with the watercolor. Like I want to do kind of an animation look where I have like a flat tone, and then the shadow tone, and then maybe a highlight. But inevitably, I get lost in just the suddenly mixing colors, and I'm like ooh, and I end up losing, and it just becomes like painting. It's like no, I wanted that kind of graphic. Right. That's just not used to the tools, the paint either. So, but no, just keep messing it up. Oh, you didn't even finish. Be quiet.
David's worked his magic again. Yeah, add a little more color there, Kelsey. Put some green in there.
All right. I think I'm going to pump up
The
shadows a
volume,
little
pump up,
bit.
the volume, pump up, the volume.
I'm gonna pump up the volume. I think that might be what's needed. Need some heavier shadow work here.
Well, don't start tripping out now because you got like 2 minutes. You exactly got 2 minutes. So
Just need to define some of these outlines.
instead of ruining it, like you did for the last half hour, you should have been thinking, what can I do to make this better?
Well, I should have stopped a long time ago. Then I should have stopped before I began.
Well, let me take a moment here as we're wrapping up to remind everybody that next week is Frank Frazetta's birthday, and we will be doing a Frazetta show. There won't be a poll because we're just going to do something Frazetta-esque, and it can be anything that Frazetta, anything he worked on, anything at all. From Cavemen to ERB to Conan again to he did Vampirella. He actually did a cover of She for Billy Tucci.
Oh yeah, right.
So
he also Pit. So can I draw Pit?
Yeah, you could.
He did a Pit. Does that mean we could draw literally anything?
Anything that Frazetta's done is fair game, because you're contributing to the legacy that Frank left us. So,
what about the movie posters?
Yes.
Any Which Way But Loose? No, what did he do?
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't do those. That was
he did The Mechanic. He did something.
He did the Gauntlet for Eastwood.
Yeah, Gauntlet. Yeah. Eastwood. So Eastwood drawing.
See, you could do that.
Think outside the box.
Yeah. I'm kind of tempted. I'm going to do Edgar Rice Burroughs. I'll tell you that right now, probably. But I'm tempted to do something like The Mucker. Do you remember that? It was like this little Western Edgar Rice Burroughs character. And Frazetta did. There's The Mucker and Return of the Mucker. And I've got the books because the Frazetta covers. I've never read them, though. But I kind of... something interesting about the character that appeals to me, but and then of course he did The Monster Men, which was right up my alley, which was Edgar Rice Burroughs' book that Frazetta did the cover for. Bran Mac Morn. I mean, there's a lot of material there, but we want to do something that's sort of, you don't have to try and draw like Frazetta, but something that sort of has a Frazetta vibe to it,
Yeah. Think about that. I was saying Conan, but feels like we kind of did that already. So, you know what I like with some of my favorite Frazetta is like those sci-fi covers that he did, where they're actual ink with like watercolor color.
Yeah. Well, those were like the Carnival paperbacks way back in the early '60s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I dig those. That one that had it's like a red spaceship with a green guy standing over it. And there's like a red moon.
Oh no, you're talking about the Buck Rogers covers from the '50s.
Oh yes, I love those, man. Those are
those are awesome. Yes. See, you could do Buck Rogers.
I like that. I could do that.
Yeah. All sorts of stuff. All right, we've gone over, and I'm still noodling. So David is just abandoned. I think he's out having dinner. I'm not sure. Oh, he's still there. All right, okay. All right, Kelsey, you ready to call it? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done enough. Yeah, I'm just kind of outlining things, pumping up the lines a little bit. I started with ink, and then it became a painting.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead since I'm done at least with the line work. If I do any more, I don't know. So we'll go ahead and take a look at my line. Oh, it looks like my camera's banding again. I thought I fixed it, but I didn't. So I'm going to get a new one. All right. Here we go.
Ooh. Yeah, very cool. Good Mumra.
Lion-O and Mumra, baby.
The might. The muscle.
This is like the tightest one I've done. The line work and everything.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't think because I I was always in a hurry on the other ones, and this one actually timed it out just right.
You're getting your timing down, yeah.
Yeah. But
Unlike
I
some other people.
may throw some color on this just to because I know David's
Just to
gonna
rub
do
it in.
Yeah, well, David's gonna do. He's coming back a week later. Oh, look at my
that's
piece
true.
I did on your show or on the show. Like,
true.
yeah,
He
you didn't do
is.
that on the show, pal. So anyway, pardon the banding. I apologize. I'll get a new one ordered. And let's see. Look at I got all that little line work in there. So that's the thing when you do like zombies or weird creatures, you can just line the crap out of them, and it seems like it's appropriate.
You talking about for Mumra?
Yeah, it's like you put as many lines on there as you want, and it's like, yeah, he's a craggly, mummy. Sure, that looks awesome.
It's like
You do
drawing old people.
Yeah,
I like drawing
exactly.
old people because there's just a lot of character in the face.
Oh, look at they're already, that sword is wrong. I'm already getting I was using David's reference.
Oh,
Hang on now.
hey-o.
Jiminy Cricket's on me. You got the sword wrong, but we'll overlook it. The sword is wrong, says Skull Masher.
Yep.
You're an idiot, says no. One said that.
Start over.
Agent Zero, I love the short sword. There you go. This is the second sword that he had. He never used in any of the episodes.
That was his training sword.
There it is. Look at that again. Here I'm getting hit again. Aaron, I love your stuff, but you messed up the Sword of Omens, laughing at me. They're mocking me for the Sword of Omens. There it is. That's not the Sword of Omens. The sword is wrong. Look at this, man. I'm just,
How
my
do you
God.
do such a thing? Oh my God. The travesty.
2-hour draw stream, and I'm getting blitzed.
The
Blitzed
humanity.
for my sword. Well, what are you going to do? All right, Kelsey, are you ready?
I think so.
All right, I'm going to switch to Kelsey so I can cut off the abuse. There we go.
Can't even see it.
yeah.
That's great.
You can't see it? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's too bright.
Look at that face.
Yeah.
Now, okay, now hang on a second. Explain this to me. So there's like a cowboy dude that rides this horse, and then the horse turns into this, though?
Yeah.
There you go. Go back down.
My light's flickering, man. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, this guy's 3030. He's actually part of like an alien race that lives on this planet he was on. So I don't know. I didn't write the dang thing. I just like the character. Like a big horse guy. He's like, "You're making me angry," or whatever.
Love it.
It's clobbering time. He has like sayings like that. I forget what it is though.
No, that's great. I love they use that kind of like that greenish blue back there in the arm, and
that actually turned out. That
orange.
almost looks like a Beasley kind of thing going on.
Yeah,
here.
it looks like you meant to do that almost.
I did, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Came out okay, despite the gouache issues. That was interesting.
Dan the pizza man.
I like your splatter on your palette better than the painting.
Yeah,
Do what?
he's got a Jackson Pollock on the left and his drawing on the right. Dan Genovese says, "Sick, Kelsey."
Hey, thanks.
As in vomit.
Oh yeah. Oh dang.
John wants to know how can we donate a new camera to Kelsey. The strobe lighting is making him freak out.
No, that's my light doing that. That's this thing.
Oh, look at this. HR says, best one so far. Get out of here with that. Jeez.
See what he
Donate the
said?
player,
Go
hate
fly.
the game.
Yeah. Love the shadow, says Fopeezy. All they did was criticize my sword, and they're just kissing your butt though. Boy, I'm telling you. Hudsill says that is bad.
Awesome. See, I pulled it out. It wasn't working.
It's technically an app, so you could say it, Aaron.
No, he's a horse.
Oh,
Hey, I have standards. I have standards on my show. Let's see. Ellie Munoz says that horse means business, and his business is horse apples.
I got the gun wrong.
See, look at now they're all over us. Now you got the gun wrong.
I spend most of the time drawing that dang gun.
Dude, they voted 1980s cartoons for a reason because they know their stuff and we are letting them down. This is embarrassing.
David G's like, damn it, Kelsey, you got the sword wrong. Wait a minute, there's no sword.
Oh my gosh! First
Andrew
of all,
says
yeah.
needs more color.
The David G, feel better, Aaron? Yes, I do. Okay, so we both apparently our weapons are not on point. Oh my gosh! All right, David, let's see what you got. Oh, you're
looks
blurring
great.
again. Dang it! It's like David has this camera that looks like there's water on the lens all the time.
Wasn't that the same thing he showed us like 2 hours ago?
Yeah, come on, we got some inks that you can. Yeah, and it was a clearer picture then.
Well, you didn't. Did you? You were done then?
He froze. Dude, you got some inks. Oh, he's working on it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's a gorilla. What's that guy's name again?
Ookla.
Ookla. Yeah, well, you screwed up his ears. His ears aren't right.
I'm so on model, you don't even know.
I know. Well, hey, apparently your sword isn't on model because I used that, and maybe I screwed it up though. Now that I think about it, I think I missed something in the middle there. Oh well. I'll fix it in Photoshop.
Fix it in post.
That's right. Fix it in post production. They're cheering for Ookla the Mook.
So you're going animation style. Are you going to color this one?
Yeah, I'm going to try to all Frazetta style so I could get my this on Frazetta.
Oh, so this is gonna go for 2 weeks in a row?
No, that's cheating. That would be cheating. So Art Vandalay likes it. Michael says first place Aaron, second Kelsey, third David. David will for sure take first later this week once it's finished. You mean after he cheats, of course. But we're not. This isn't a competition. Although I do like the recognition that mine is best, but this is not a competition.
Squarely in the middle.
It's just for fun, you guys. That's all.
The most non-offensive place.
Let me encourage everybody while you're there. There's 184 watching right now. If you guys would hit the like and subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, all that good stuff helps us grow the channel. This is, of course, the best draw stream on the interwebs. So you want to be here every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Pacific to join us for this fun.
And support our books.
That's right. Yeah. Also, just going to get to that. I have campaign links for Wraith of God Blood Hunters in the description of this video, as well as David Williams's Bass Reeves, West of Hell.
That is also, almost finished. He actually is finishing that one.
Yeah. And Kelsey, I got to just let you guys know he's working on Nexus right now for Dark Horse. There's also a link there to Allegiance Arts if you want to go find some other Kelsey Shannon goodness.
So. Yeah.
And you can, apparently they're telling me that you can actually get a copy of Nora's Saga in David Williams'
awesome
campaign. So you can get like Bass Reeves and Nora's Saga right there on the campaign. So check out those links. And
thanks you guys.
And then we're going to start a GoFundMe so David can get a decent camera. And then we'll do something about Kelsey's lighting situation, which seems to have corrected itself.
No, it's working fine. Now that I'm not showing off, starting to work fine.
We may have had a close encounters moment there over at Kelsey's place.
It's all my victims.
That's right. All
right.
Okay, now people are still. Sword of Omens is in the intro to Thundercats. It's 10 seconds in. All right. Geez, I had a piece of reference. I misinterpreted it. What are you going to do?
I think they're just being nice to you guys because I'm looking at the screen now and I see like a work of art that could be hanging in a friggin' museum, and then I see like some half-finished other stuff.
I know. Well,
you guys need to up your game. The audience should be absolutely livid with you guys.
Look at this, dude. Look at this. Look at this bias. Citizen Ronan says, "I love Thundar. Dave is the winner." That's not how it works.
Okay. Yeah, I see where it is.
Yeah.
Need to hit the nerd button.
Hey, Richard Gradwell's coming in and setting people straight. He says, "Damn, Aaron, that's a great Lion-O and Mumra." He doesn't care about the sword.
Yeah,
he's not the characters, right? It could be. He could have a different sword. Maybe
I should have done Jim and the holograms. I should have done
for him to have a different.
Oh, really? Maybe I should watch the cartoon and I would know more.
I should have done Turbo Teen. Oh man, that would have totally nailed me the win.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
You should have.
wait a minute. Bearwolf is setting me straight. He says, I love Thundercats, but Kelsey is the winner. Oh, he stuck it to me right in my back. But I think that hit my kidney. Oh,
Yeah.
ouch. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up.
I want to go eat.
Yeah, Kelsey's got to eat and get back to work on that Nexus stuff. David's giving you a thumbs up, so he says, okay, I'm leaving. All right, guys. Thank you again, you fine folks of the chat, for joining us. We appreciate you guys being here to watch this. And we wouldn't be able to do it if you guys weren't there helping us out by showing up. So thank you. And you guys have a great, safe week. The weekend's coming up. I'll be out of town, so I won't be doing my Sunday show with Shelley because I will be at a comic show in Orange County someplace. Fun. So a one-day show with a lot of old comics. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll score something, you know?
Dude, you got to record some if you find anything good. I'd love that.
Oh, I should.
Man, I'd love to go to a old show that has old comics.
I know. It's like instead of old wrestlers.
It's so rare. Yeah, you actually get an actual good old comic show where you can dig through quarter bins and stuff.
I know. And actually,
they don't want to bring all that stuff.
When comic shows used to be comic shows.
Yeah, good times.
All right. Anyway, guys, thank you. And remember, we do this every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. Next week will be Frazetta week. So you want to join us for that for sure. And until we see
won't
you
be painting that. I'll do.
Yeah, we're going to do oil painting.
We're all pencil drawing.
Thing. We should. Oh my gosh, that could be a complete disaster. Oh my goodness. All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Later.